was thinking you were talking about the one that's on the wall. Which one is blue and which one's pink? What's the background pink and blue, or the night?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say it's white.
I'd say it's white.
And then just circle is pink.
Holy dive, you've been down too long in the midnight.
Or it could be white and then one
Oh,
side is pink and the other side of the thing.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the option.
Ride the tiger, you can see his stripes, but you know he's clean. Oh, don't you see what I mean? Gotta get away. Shiny diamonds, like the eyes of a cat in the black and blue. Something is coming
I thought
for
he was
you.
talking about like the big wall that you
Race for the morning, you can hide in the sun till you see the light.
color.
Oh, we will pray it's alright. Gotta get away.
I think you should do it like.
Get away.
I took this photo for you, Joe, by the way. I forgot to show it.
Between the velvet
Affiliated
lines,
things it could be.
It's carpet outside.
Oh no,
as the truth is honesty.
that's not where carpet's supposed to be.
No.
My.
The vision never dies. Life's a never-ending.
Is it like
And there's like a trick.
what's his explanation as to why? Just because it like takes a mint on his toes.
Anytime I go up to it, I'm
It
always
was a lovely grassy area before.
put a stop to it.
Holy diver, you're the star of the masquerade. No need to look so afraid.
10 years. They didn't go back.
Jump on the tiger, you can feel his heart, but you know he's
He was carpet on carpet.
some light can never be seen.
I'm a disruptor.
He's a very good bag.
Yeah, it's a nice, it's an animal free. I don't have animals, but you would know, but even if I did, you wouldn't get it.
I never cared about rugs until I never had carpet, and now I'm like
Back in 3 hours.
carpets in
I
small
love
doses.
Yeah.
Small batch carpets.
But I do not understand, there was like no house bad or like layering.
Exercise
Yeah,
or
so they had like two
It's in like they take a form of. I mean, I can see that. Well, it's like, why not just cut them to be in one yellow?
They were just like on top of
Yeah, it's not very good.
Because
Because you can just cut them and maybe have the shape you like and have it later. That's not like you going out. But I gotta go to this.
Once had a love and it was
Gate Bridge. Yeah. Once you replace the last thing, you gotta replace the first thing.
Well, to be fair,
seemed like the real thing, but I
because
was
it's
so
a
blind.
that's hanging on the wall that has been for the last
Lies gone
3,
behind.
4, 5 years. Yeah, that's not supposed to do that. No. The table is just hanging there. Yeah, just working hard. There's a low medium who's in a wheelchair and
Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I
saying something important. Yeah.
Let's see if you guys can try this. That little play.
once had
I'm like, this is way better. I'm watching here on the as somebody who's like sad because we have a wheelchair, I'm like, cool. I don't know.
seemed like the real thing.
I'm just picturing somebody who's like just struggling really hard to be in the wheelchair. It's like, whoa, I can't be fine.
We're thinking of a unicycle chair.
Yeah, that would be better. Actually.
I had a party once in college. I wasn't in college, but it was
It was a college party.
I also
You
lived
get
across
it.
the street from a college for a while.
And there's a guy in a wheelchair, and there's like a table outside, and everyone was trying to like go around it fastest in his wheelchair. And he finally did it, and like did it in a quarter of the time anybody else could do it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
You know, you can't skills. Like,
This gift idea.
Grab your skateboard. Let's take this stump rope and tie it around my thing and let's go for a ride.
Get your rollerblade.
Hell yeah. Sorry, don't look at me, Jeff. You're making me nervous.
All women say that.
Oh my god, it's so high. I regret, yeah.
Listen up, girl, I know you a Nintendo fan.
Oh, what's this song? This is it. Oh, look at me. Oh, I'm dancing. This is dancing, right? Yeah.
Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for Warm Takes. Please welcome to stage one of your hosts. It's JoJo Lewis.
Make some noise for coming out on a Friday, other comedians.
Hey.
The joy of this show is welcome to Warm Takes, a show where we do some jokes and mostly just kind of make shit up and hope for the best. I have been drinking.
9 p.m. show, baby.
Hey, this is as far as I'm concerned, this is the late show. Put the
Listen.
kids to bed.
Listen, it's Friday night. You hung up your tie. It's time to cut loose. Time to do warm takes.
Absolutely.
Your stance is making me laugh.
Well, it's
but I love it for
sometimes the comedy is just like, isn't that interesting? Or like you sit on the chair and you look at the stand and like, am I right, ladies?
you. Oh my God.
What?
JoJo, explain the show first.
The way the show works is comedians will come on stage, they will tell their jokes, and then, from in the darkness, either I or Emma will shout questions from usually a teen vote get to know you list.
I've been doing 17 magazine.
17 magazine is very good.
Cosmo is great as well.
Oh man, you want to find out what your summer colors are, or if he's really into you. I was with my partner. We were going to spend the night at a place, and the person at the front counter was like, "Just so you know, your room is haunted." And my partner was like, "Don't worry, I got this." Which was wild because I wasn't worried until I was told not to be. And I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, Joe, you need to worry about those ghosts because I've got pennies." That pause was for you guys to know that I also paused waiting for the rest of whatever that idea was for about that long. And I said, "What do pennies do?" And she said, "Well, ghosts don't like pennies if you put them in the corners of a room." That was it. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't make any sense until I considered the idea that superstitions are pretty much just ghost racism. Because just imagine a ghost comes in a room and he's just like, "Ooh, what the fuck is that? Are those in every corner? Are you fucking kidding me? It's 2025. My family didn't come to this country and live and die and become ghosts for this. We didn't get sprayed in the streets by Ghostbusters.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. One time we were making love and her Nuva ring came out.
Ooh. Whoopsie.
And I picked it up and I said, "Marry me." And then she said, "Yeah." I don't know what to do either. I was hoping I would get some advice and I didn't. That's where I am.
What?
How about a prompt?
You want a prompt?
Yeah.
All right, I am pulling from Women's Health this month.
I know a lot about that, I bet.
Some of this is, they're not as like, yeah, we'll find it.
Hell yeah, we will.
Joe, what's the funniest thing you've read recently? Which is a question a woman would ask.
The funniest thing I've read.
Yeah, recently.
Well, that's huge because I have read Confederacy of Dunces. I haven't. That book is boring. The funniest thing I've read. I was looking up reviews for Nerds gummies. Y'all know what I'm talking about? There is.
Talking about?
It's a goo with a crunch, and there is nothing else like it. There is nothing else like it. The Nerds gummies, for one, when you buy them from Amazon, they give you no fucking quarter. They're just like, "Hey, listen, you're here because you're a Nerds pervert. We're going to send these to you in a black bag, normally used for porn." And so I'm scrolling through the comments on these Nerds gummies. I don't know why. I've already decided to buy them, but it feels weird because getting a 500 count of Nerds gummies is a lot. And the first comment said, and this is bonkers, but the first comment said, "I'm really grateful I got the 500 count size." It's a verified purchase. "I'm really grateful I got the 500 count size because these don't do so well in a hot tub." Now, the part that was surprising was the "so well," because that means they did okay in the hot tub. It's goo with crunch. A hot tub shouldn't have any of that. That's the funniest thing I read.
Okay. This is a warm takes first. I have an audience question. What?
I wonder who it was.
Well, maybe you'll find out by the question.
Okay.
When watching pornography, are you preferring like a POV or a third person? Deep breath.
I prefer a POV
Okay.
because I watch with a VR headset.
That is a risk to watch with a headset. What if someone just wanders in?
Because I mean,
like people just wandered into the show.
I thought you meant just in the video I was watching, because it was one with Velma from Scooby-Doo and a ghost walked in.
Oh, that's a kink.
But it was cool. I watch porn with pennies in the room. Just over in the corners. No, I'll watch ones where it's just like, yeah, I could probably make that happen if I took a shower and read a book.
So POV.
Yeah. So you're a POV kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm a POV kind of guy.
I like
My POV for Sarah, a comic who will be on this show later, was
Well,
his POV. I want to watch porn where the guy's reading a book.
Jojo, don't kink shame anyone. Don't kink shame anyone here.
Everyone says you shouldn't kink shame, but everyone can't be right.
Whoa, that's deep.
Some kinks should be shamed, and if you gotta have sex while reading, that's ridiculous. Focus, please.
All right, this is gonna be your last one.
Oh,
This one's
I'm doing that bad at warm takes.
I'm
as
not gonna
the
lie.
host.
I'm not gonna lie. Women's health is kind of letting me down with these questions.
Kind of like how women's health is letting women down. Am I right? Medical
Jojo.
establishment. We painted the waiting room pink.
That's a hot take, not a warm take.
Fair.
Remember where we are. What's the weirdest gift you've ever received? Your partner's laughing like she knows. Guessing it's the new ring drop.
I got a card. Now, cards aren't really gifts. They're what you do if you're like, I want to show someone I care, kind of. Now, I got a card that was handmade. And the card that was handmade, it was, you know how you sometimes get like a greeting card that has like a pop-up, or it's just like, oh yeah, how like, I hope your dad's okay in the hospital, and you open it up and it's like a dog jumping out at you. I don't know from fucking greeting cards. This is a metaphor. Or is it?
Sure.
I don't know. So I got a card, and this card, handmade, when I opened it, it was a oyster that was leaping out of leaping right off of the horizon line of this image, and with like a burst of water that was all like a pop-up book for a kid, where it's like a burst of water. And I said, what is this supposed to like represent? And she said, you'll see, and also I got you new sheets.
Oh my god.
That's the, hey listen, women's health?
That was women's health.
That was
You're
women's
right.
health's fault for
You're
that
right.
one.
Well, do you want to see the next question I was going to ask someone?
I prefer to hear it, but go on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Does round or square pizza taste better? These questions are terrible. I will never go back. I will never go back to Women's Health magazine. Cancel my subscription.
You guys ready for a kick-ass show of comedy? Do better with clapping. You ready for a kick-ass show of comedy? We got a bunch of funny people who are going to be coming on the stage telling their best jokes and then making shit up on the spot, so I hope you're on board with that. The first person coming on the stage, I certainly hope he's aware that this is happening. Really good buddy of mine. Please welcome Mr. Connor Martin!
I was aware. Once upon a time, I stuck it in the wrong hole. And that's weird. The weirder part is that the lady in the bed didn't say anything. She was just cool with it, which is terrifying. Because if you're not careful, you can make a baby in that hole, guys. Guys? Catholics? No Catholics? Okay. No, this particular girl, it turns out, had a husband, and that's not cool. But she didn't tell me she had a husband until after I did what I did, you know? So I feel like I'm not the asshole in this story, you know? Well, her asshole was the asshole in this story, but I'm not the bad guy in this story, right? If I didn't know she was married, that makes sense to you guys, right? And that's what I tried to tell to my girlfriend, and she was like, it's not the part I'm mad about. Okay. All right. So I'm a lightweight. I'm just drinking water right now, but I can't fuck with hard alcohol. When I drink, I just drink beer. And I have a friend who knows I'm a lightweight, but he's an asshole. And so we were drinking beers once, and he pulled out a bottle of whiskey. He said, this stuff right here separates the men from the boys. And I was like, holy shit. They could use some whiskey in the Catholic Church. You're telling me this stuff separates men from boys? Like magically? Or what are you talking about? Save the holy water, Monsignor. Get some Jack Daniels on the scene, am I right? Oh, goodness. So you're not supposed to say the R word anymore, right? For the most part. Unless you're talking about fire. That's like the one time, you know? Like someone will be like, Why is that guy holding his hand in the fire like that? He's like, well, he's retarded. He's, okay. Okay. All right. No, I had a friend of mine who was telling me a story. She was in a CrossFit class, and they do group barbell workouts, I guess, in CrossFit, I was informed. And she immediately realized when they started the workout that it was too much weight on the barbell. But she was too embarrassed to stop and take any weight off. So she just went through the whole workout and threw out her back. And she said, I felt so retarded. And I was like, you shouldn't say that. Because if you were retarded, you would have had no problem with that weight. Guys, that's like their thing. Don't take away their... Okay, all right, give me a thing. All right, I apologize. That's all very offensive. Set a tone, you know what I mean, Joe?
Yeah, it's a fun, cool vibe you've created. A really safe space. I feel Jesus moving through this theater.
That's right. He prefers Jesus. Continue.
Christ.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Simpsons character?
Groundskeeper Willie, easily. Flanders is a close second, but what?
Expand?
Well, you never know how ripped he is till that one episode where he takes his shirt off and it turns out he's jacked as fuck. And he just kind of shows up every once in a while with a Scottish accent, which is like an inherently funny accent. And he's wrestling dogs and he's saying like stereotypes about Scotland that probably aren't true. You know, you can make fun of different like ethnicities of white people still, and I feel like that was a great character to do it with.
Mm-hmm.
But Flanders had that one where he went skiing and his butt cheeks were on fleek in that suit, that like skin tight suit. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So that's probably
your favorite Simpsons
the first time I questioned my sexuality.
Yeah, your favorite Simpsons characters are the ones that I feel just like the hottest male box.
Jacked dudes, yeah.
Jacked fucking ripped dudes.
The ones that don't show up in like the sidebar porn categories where you're like, why are the Simpsons on the porn? Well, it's not those guys though.
Never.
They didn't need to put them on there. They're already doing it for you in the regular show. Yeah.
Are you more religious or spiritual?
There's no way to not sound like a douchebag answering this question.
Checkmate.
I meditate every once in a while when I get anxious. I was raised religious, so clearly spiritual. You know what I mean? Like that shit'll. I feel like you just go away from. That makes me wonder. Does that go the other way? Are there kids who were raised around like crystals and dream catchers, and now they're Catholic? They're like that shit is gay. And they say gay because they're religious. You know what I mean? They're like bad people. Probably spiritual if we want me to be earnest.
There's an important.
Vern!
Thank you. I was trying to get there.
Earnest, scared.
There's an importance to being earnest goes to Nirvana.
What's that book, something with the being earnest?
The Importance of Being Earnest?
It's okay. You already just said it. Yeah. Why isn't that one of the movies, you know? What's that book about? Guys, this is relatable? Okay. So, earnest. I'm spiritual religious. I'm more earnest. I like to wear a hat and fix things around the house poorly, fall off ladders.
What do you chant when you meditate?
Chant?
Yeah, what's the thing you use to clear your mind?
I couldn't think of anything funny, so I do the one where you just focus on your breath. Because if you can't think of anything funny, you just say the truth, right, guys? I don't know those ones. You have to pay the David Lynch Foundation like $1,000 to learn the chant. I don't know if you guys know about transcendental meditation, but there's some gatekeeping going on, and that makes me think it might be bullshit. You know, why I have to pay $1,000 for inner peace? Just give me $1,000 and I'll feel pretty chill about that. You know what I mean? No, I just do the one where you focus on your breath and you try not to fart, because then that makes you focus on the smell of your breath. You know what I mean? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Next.
What do you think happens after you die?
I think you shit. I think your body, you void your bowels. Oh, you mean like to my consciousness? I thought you meant physically. Oh, God. Probably you. Hopefully nothing. Anybody ever be depressed? Any depression in the crowd? You ever hope for total annihilation? And what's that other word that means a similar thing?
Oblivion?
Oblivion? You guys ever hope? Thank you. For this total, it's gone and it's done. You know what's funny about that?
I can't wait.
You know how people are scared of ghosts, like you were referencing?
Yeah.
You ever get so existentially depressed that there's no meaning to anything that you realize if a ghost appeared, your first thought would be like, oh, there is something after. And then maybe you'd be scared. But like at first you'd be like, oh, nice.
The ghost shows up and is like, have you heard the good news?
Exactly. Well, yeah, some Harry Potter type shit. I think you live in photos of yourself. I'm trying to think of other Harry Potter references. I think
that almost sounded like you were hitting on something deep.
I think you let people into a corridor of Gryffindor dormitory, and no, but hopefully nothing, because sleep is pretty sick, right, guys? Is that anybody else's favorite part of your life? You guys, anybody else stop smoking weed and hate that the dreams came back? Anybody else just cherish nothingness? No? Okay, just me? So hopefully that, or my mom's right and I'll burn in hell for eternity. You know, that's the interesting thing about being raised by religious people. You realize at a certain point, you'd be better off in their mind as a religious, like, heroin addict than, like, an atheist successful person. Because they're like, yeah, they're living on the streets for, like, 20 years or however long until they get hit by a car. But then they're in heaven for eternity, so I can, like, rest easy. Whereas if you're, like, Elon Musk, but you don't have an afterlife, they're like, well, yeah, he's, got rockets, but those won't get you to heaven,
Jesus. Connor Martin, everybody.
Thank you.
He's got rockets, but won't get you to heaven. That's better than the anti-Elon Tesla Club stickers, I swear to God. All right, next person coming to stage, another very funny person. Please welcome Miss Salesworth.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Yeah, we're feeling Fuck yeah, we've covered a lot of ground this evening. Well, I'd like to say welcome to Hot Topic. Yeah, I used to work Hot Topic, but you guys probably knew that. Yeah. I worked there after I graduated college, which people think is weird. Like, that's a little late. You also look like you still work there. But I loved it because I felt like I totally was fulfilling, like, a teenage prophecy. Because back in high school, my friends called me shit like My Chemical Imbalance. My personal favorite, Panic in the Classroom. That's a true story. Yeah, it was a dark time. You could probably call it an all-time low. Okay. All right. Jimmy Eat World? Sarah eats lunch alone. I'm kidding. I had friends. Yeah, it's not all that bad, though. Like, those little brain imbalances. I have ADHD. Shout out if you got it. According to TikTok, we all do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's fun sometimes, honestly. Like, my ADHD likes to do witchcraft at Michael's. They got all the supplies, my girl. No, but really, that's just like when I get high and I go to Michael's, and I'm like, which craft should I do? Which craft should I do? I can never decide. And I'm gonna blame the ADHD. It couldn't be the weed, right? She can't hurt me, right? I don't know. Something people don't usually guess about me is that I'm actually a veteran. Hold your applause. You guys don't believe me? Well, I served for 10 whole years, so suck it. Yeah, I was a senior cadet in Troop 816, Girl Scouts for life. What's up? What's up? I don't give a fuck. Any real veterans here? Are you serious?
Just you, baby girl.
Don't report my stolen valor.
I earned the veteran title. I don't give a fuck. I fucking sold those cookies in the trenches. Live and die by the Girl Scout law, you know what I mean? I wear combat boots, right? That's the same thing. I don't know. I had a friend the other day be like, girl, what you in combat with? I was like, girl, myself. Exactly. Should I do one more? Just warm takes.
Let's go for
Give me,
it. Let's
give me,
go for it.
Have we moved from Women's Health?
I have changed to Bustle magazine.
Bustle. Okay. All right. What's the
So-
hustle and bustle?
All right. So I know they're not great. What's your most embarrassing childhood memory?
Oh my god. First one that comes to mind is just, it's probably not the most, but the one that I think about a lot is I was in 4th grade. Set the tone. I don't know, must have had something rough at lunch because when we came back, I just farted so loud and I was so embarrassed. I didn't know what else to say because I was like, the way that everything was like situated, I was right in the fucking middle of the classroom, like equally dispersed. Everyone turns and looks at you. You have to say something. And I was just like, it's natural. And that scientifically is correct, but was the dumbest fucking thing I could have said because for the rest of the school year, everyone would just say that to me. I'd be like leaving the bathroom and they'd be like, it's natural. Like that's a slur or something. I am regular. I used to be. Anyway.
Some of these questions are kind of weird. Are you good for a weird one?
I'm good with weird, but like good.
Okay.
Good weird.
Do you wipe standing up or sitting down?
You know what? I've really never thought about standing, but that could be a new
thing, right? I thought about it as I read it.
Because I mean, if you don't know by now, front to back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see raised eyebrows. That's a yes, though, right? That's not new.
Well,
okay.
That's how the women are taught. You
But
gotta do front to
honestly,
back. Women's Health.
I think if I gotta stand to shit in the restroom, anarchy. Yeah, I think that we should get on Japan's level and get bidets in public bathrooms. I want to rest in the restroom.
No.
But I don't stand.
No.
And do any of
no,
you?
just for wiping.
Do any of you wipe and stand? I need to know. I want a statistic. Be real.
I mean, if I'm trying to get up in it.
Okay, in a porta potty, yes, because we're already squatting. Yeah. Okay, if I'm already in a squat, yes, but I don't actively lift myself to wipe. Is that weird?
No, it's weird that they asked the question.
What did they say? Is
No, there's no answers. They're just questions.
Damn, nosy.
Which is terrible. What's an odd, nervous habit that you have?
It's something I've developed over the years is like I say like I'll say like the hip slang ironically because I don't like it, and then it will stick with me way past its due date. I would really love to stop saying slay, but I can't. I can't stop saying slay queen. Hey queen, yes queen, YAS queen. And it all started when I was a little girl. I used to say LOL, ironically, but then it became very serious. Chronic, even. And YOLO hit me really hard. Fuck. Yeah. So I just say slay.
Slay is good.
And any awkward silence, I'm like,
slay.
Honestly, slay.
I've never said yes, but I've typed it out a lot. Which I don't think anybody believes if they know me as a person. I'm not just like, yes.
Yes. Yeah, they look at me and they assume I do.
Let me see. What's a conspiracy theory you kind of believe in?
Kinda?
Like, it's like, I can see it.
That the Alexa, Amazon Alexas and things of the world are truly just government spies in our homes.
I mean,
that's true.
That,
but
yeah,
it's
well,
conspiracy
that's not a
to anyone who has Alexa and they rely on her. Anyone Disney Channel's original movie Smart House?
Yeah.
I think about it once or twice a day. It haunts me. And I know that the idea of AI was around before Disney Channel original movie Smart House, but that's when it was introduced to me.
Yeah.
And so maybe 5 years ago, Spotify was doing this promotion. I don't know. They were like, everyone with a Spotify account gets a free Google Home, which is, you know, the bootleg Alexa. And I was like, I'm gonna get one. So there's one less harming the world. So I signed up, which is part of their plan. I'm on so many data lists now. And I got it, and then I kept it in the box. And it's still in my mom's closet somewhere, unopened, unactivated. One less soldier out there. I'm serious.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more. I'm trying to find one that's not weird, but it's really hard on this site.
Bustle.
I know they're kind of. Do you have one? You know what? I'm gonna go back with the audience question.
Ooh, how many you got?
I feel like this should be a running question for everyone. Did you ask Connor?
That was
what
such a
kind of-
diabolical laugh.
So we know who submitted it now.
He said,
What are you thinking? Is it POV or third person porn?
Honestly, when you brought that up,
Yeah.
is that really the question that's being asked?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This is your
okay.
last one, so make it count.
Incredible. Well, I've thought about this a lot because I'd really love a VR headset. But I'm scared that I'm only going to use it for porn. No
As we all
good.
would.
And then I'm like, great, now instead of the AI revolution coming for me,
That's great.
I'm coming for it, and now Alexa won! Like,
Yep.
fuck!
Full circle.
Yeah, so it's third person, which now is making me think, like, if I watch all porn third person, does that make me automatically voyeur?
Yeah.
Does that make me automatically...
It does.
Does that also put me in the cuck category?
Yeah. We are
I'm
all
fucking
cucks.
cooked, you guys. God damn it. All right, is that it?
You guys give it up
I'm
for
Sarah
Sarah
Ellsworth,
Ellsworth, everybody. All right. Coming up next, very funny. She's running a show after this one. You guys could stay and hang out and watch it. You guys give it up for Suzette Vanetti, everybody. She might be eating sushi.
Hi. Sorry, I was trying to drink a Dr. Pepper because the sushi I ate tasted like peanut butter. Which isn't a joke, it's just true, and it's really unfortunate for me because now there's peanut butter taste in my mouth and I had California roll. I also used to work for Hot Topic. Sorry, I forgot to take this off. No, I didn't. I just found this and needed it. Anyway, I lost my debit card the other day, and it made me really excited, actually, because it's like super gay. Like there's like rainbows all over it. Like I don't know if anyone has U.S. Bank debit card. Yeah, it's like it's a tie-dye. Well, it's an update of the tie-dye. It's like bursts of color, like from like 4th of July or something awful. I don't know. But anyway, I was like, wow, whoever stole this card must have felt like really affirmed when they used it, or they had to pretend to be gay and they're like super conservative, and that brought joy to my heart. But they called me, and that's how I found out like it was used, because I lost it, but then someone picked it up and found it. They took it to McDonald's, and they were like, you don't shop at McDonald's. And I was like, how does my bank know I don't eat at McDonald's? I don't. But I was like, okay, no, I don't. You're right. It's not me. Cancel the card. And they were like, who was it? And it's like, you should probably start with the Hamburglar. That's like the obvious place to go with that, you know? Like, he's dressed for it. My friend was having sex the other day, and I wasn't there, right? Like, he was having sex with a guy, and in the middle, the guy stopped and and my friend turned around and was like, what? And the guy was like, do you know who I hate? And my friend was like, who? And the guy was like, Suzette Vanetti. I wasn't even there. Like, I'm like, what? Like, someone hates me that much? Because, like, that's a lot of hate. Like, I've never stopped sex and been like, hey, wait, hold up. I'm really bothered by the election. Can we talk about it really quick and then go back to fuck? Or, like, I've never, like, stopped in the middle of sex. Like, you know, and been like, oh, wait, stop. The atrocities committed during World War II are just horrendous, and we just need to digest that really quick before we finish the sex. Like, that's a lot of hate to, like, bring me up during sex. My friend told me, of course, right? And it's just like, usually when I'm getting hate fucked, it's just me alone in my bedroom. So that was a change. There's a Subway across from Badlands. I do shop there. I go to Subway often, and there's a rumor that they stay open till 4 a.m. just for me because I suck so much dick that they do it just for me, and that's I'm not gonna confirm or deny. But I do. If I'm taking a 6-inch so we can all get a foot long at 3 a.m., you are welcome. I have lots of jokes about being a slut and sucking dick, and it's not my fault. I was kind of bred that way, like groomed, like by society. Like I played clarinet growing up, and I realized that, like at some point, my job was just to suck on this hard piece of wood and try to make it soft. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And then I got bored eventually because like I played for like 9 years, and I was like, I wonder if I can fit 2 in there. And I can. I can play 2 clarinets at once out of my one mouth. It's very simple songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know, because like I only got one hand. But I mean, look, I have 2, like one hand for each one, you know. So like I'm like playing clarinet, and nobody back then was excited I could do 2 at once, except my 2 band directors got so excited, which was awkward. Yeah. You guys older than me or younger than me? I'm 41. Same age. There is a generational divide, Jeff Brown. People older than us, when someone says thank you, older people say you're welcome. And people younger than us, when someone says thank you, they say like no worries, no problem. Don't think of it, like my pleasure, whatever. Yeah, have fun, you know. But if you put it in context of a blowjob, it's very awkward if you don't say you're welcome. Like if I'm giving you a blowjob and you're like thank you, and I'm like, no worries. That's odd. So the older people are right for once. Like, you're welcome is like way better. Yeah. I think that's what we should go. Should I keep going or you got prompts?
If you want prompts, you can do prompts.
Let's do prompts.
Well,
I was memorizing my jokes, but then that peanut butter taste hit, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh no!
It's a California roll.
You fell out of the sunken place, so now it's time for prompts. What was your best subject in school? Was it band?
Band, yeah.
Moving on!
I got A's every year, every time. Very little effort.
Ketchup or mustard on hot dogs?
Oh, neither. I spent some time in Chicago, and both are sacrilegious. You can do relish. Also, though, like, who's eating hot dogs? Like, honestly, what is a hot dog? What part of the whatever that is it a raccoon?
Possibly.
Some of it. You said it's a possum?
Yes, I said opossum.
It could be an opossum. It could be a raccoon and a possum. I don't know. All I know is they have hot dogs in the vending carts outside my bars, and I don't. So I guess I'd rather have hot dog and mustard on the bun, no hot dog.
Now listen, that's what a disruptor was saying. I love it, and I celebrate you for it. Perfect first date.
First date?
Yeah.
Oh God, just any date, really. just someone asking me out. Oh my God, it's been 7 years, actually, for me. So just someone like saying hi would be like great. That was sad. Sorry. It's true, but people are really concerned with my sexuality. Not that you are, but like over in the neighborhood, they're really concerned with my sexuality, and I'm like, I haven't had sex in 7 years. Can I get sympathy instead of like scorn? Fuck. Yeah. 7 years? I know. I need to get fucked.
Collected. What's your go-to takeout order?
Not that sushi. Fuck that shit. That was terrible. That was it for when I came to Stab. I was like, I'm just going to go over to Kyoto and get a California roll with jalapeno and some spicy mayo, but nope. I guess it's Subway, the footlong. Yeah. I like a spicy Italian because it's like an artist. It's a self-portrait. I'm the sandwich artist. I'm telling him what to make. And I'm like, make a spicy Italian. And then he's like, are you the spicy Italian? And I'm like, yes. I mean, si. Mangia.
Oh my God. I know. Well, I mean, just I'm imagining.
That's what my band director said too.
It's just going to Subway as your go-to order, even for the Vine, is bonkers.
How old do you think I am?
You knew what Vine was, I bet.
I did, yeah.
Would you rather have a pet parrot that only repeats your most embarrassing moments, or a pet squirrel that steals your socks? Thank you, Bustle Magazine.
Definitely a squirrel because they're cute. And like I gave up wearing matching socks a long time ago. So like, is he stealing all of them or just like one at a time?
I think all of them.
Oh, I have no socks.
No socks. Now I will make an exception for like stockings and garters and whatnot.
Then a parrot. Because, like, I wear a lot of heels, but, like, these boots need socks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my feet would be a sweaty mess with no socks.
What would be the most embarrassing moment the parrot would be saying?
She thinks she's funny and she's not. She thinks she's funny and she's not.
We've all been there. It's fine.
Comedy.
Big spoon or little spoon?
Little spoon.
Yeah?
Yeah, and a fork.
Everyone get that? Everyone taking notes? It's key. What's one place in the world you'd like to travel to?
I have a joke. The Amalfi Coast. It's really pretty. Yeah. I haven't traveled in 7 years either. A very sad life.
If you run out of toilet paper, what do you reach for?
Flushable wipes, and I got in trouble for it during the pandemic because everyone was like, "You monster!" Because I was like, "I don't need toilet paper like you heathens. I have flushable wipes, like adult flushable wipes. If you're a man, they call them dude wipes. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. You can't use baby wipes because those aren't flushable, but they have biodegradable flushable wipes, and you get them from Costco in bulk, and that takes care of your tushy for a very long time. But then everyone was like, "Oh, they clog the system, and they're terrible." And then I got a bidet. So now I don't use toilet, only to dry.
Only to dry?
Which you could use anything because like there's nothing to wipe most of the time. If you do the bidet right, you are ready to bottom for a week.
That was.
That's the sound of your. That's the sound of your sphincter being really clean.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's like there's not even a squish noise. It's just.
Would you rather get $10,000 or have your best friend get $100,000?
Oh, my best friend get $100,000.
Yeah?
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Who's your best friend?
I have two of them. If they both got $100,000, I'm getting at least $10,000 out of that. Yeah.
Very practical, Suzette.
Thank you.
Keep it going for 7 out of everybody. Last person coming to the stage, one of the creators of the show, also one of the hosts, just avoided a nap. Please welcome Miss Emma Haney. Sorry, Mix Emma Haney. My bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You guys give it up for everybody who was on the show tonight. Everybody gave it their all. It was great. Give it up for the Kings tonight. The beam was lit, y'all. The beam. No? Okay, cool. I feel like the beam was like a bad financial decision for our county, right? It seems like such an expensive thing. I don't know if you guys know this. Every time the beam is lit, a school in Oak Park loses funding for the arts. So give it up for that. Give it up. Yeah. Oh, what was the other joke, JoJo, that I wanted to try? Do you remember?
It was, oh my god.
I have body dysmorphia. Can
There
you
it
tell?
is.
There we go.
I was trying to think about
Smooth
starting.
transition. So fucking smooth. I have a body dysmorphia. Give it up if anybody else hates the way they look. I blame it on the 90s. I am a child of the 90s. That's a weird time when eating meals was out and heroin chic was in, y'all. We weren't eating back then. It was crazy. And it's crazy because, like, my partner really likes to have sex during the day. which I don't really care for. You know what I mean? They're just like, come on, you're not like feeling it, and I'm like, but the sky is on. Can we wait till the sky is off? I like pitch dark. I don't want to see myself. It's crazy. And if I go by like what society tells me I should look like, and like Instagram influencers tell me I look like all I would be doing is eating cigarettes and meager rations. You know what I mean? I just wrote that part because I wanted to say meager rations because I feel like that's a funny thing to say. Like, is the war over? Has it begun? That's a different joke for a different time. Anyways, that's all I got.
Okay. Is soup a drink or a meal?
I mean, what kind of soup, Joe? You know I can go on for soup for days.
Italian wedding soup.
Italian wedding soup is a meal because it's got meatballs in it, right?
Yeah.
Can I get a snap? Can I get an amen? I wouldn't. So we had one podcast. We do podcasts, kind of. I step in every once in a while. I'm in and out. I'm very like I don't know. And we were like, let's do a soup podcast. We did one episode. It was not as good as we thought it would be. But the Italian wedding soup was killer. I still make it to this day.
It's quite delicious,
Right,
actually.
Connor?
Yeah.
It's a good soup. It's a good soup. Yeah.
Would you rather have an orgasm 50 random times
like
a day?
this already.
Or
I don't like this already.
Hey, listen, that's not how the game works.
No.
Would you rather have an orgasm 50 random times a day or an orgasm 5 seconds into sex every time?
Can you repeat the beginning?
50 random orgasms a day or an orgasm 5 seconds into sex every time.
5
And they
seconds
make me put the emphasis there every
Yeah.
time.
5 seconds into sex, right? Get me back to the TV and the food. All right? Just knock it out. I don't want to. What do I got all night? We got to make a meal of it. You know, get me in and out of there.
If you could make a new ice cream flavor, what would it be?
A new ice cream flavor?
Yeah.
I'm a big ice cream fan. I don't know about a new flavor, but you know a flavor that's slept on that not enough people have? Just pure peanut butter. Do you guys like peanut butter? Just a pure peanut butter ice cream. Just give me that. Jeff made me the best peanut butter ice cream I've ever had. It was just cold peanut butter. I just ate it.
He put it in a weird paper can.
He put it on celery. I was like, I guess. I don't I'll fucking eat it. Put peanut butter on anything, I'll eat it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sarah's like ants on a log. Delicious.
I'm into it.
Right. Well, TM. That's what I'm gonna come up with it.
For porn, is it POV or third person?
You know, I'm glad you asked this.
I don't know what, it just came to me.
Yeah. So, for porn, I'm kind of a connoisseur. I had a little bit of a porn addiction for a while. Could you tell? For me, it's like I'll go third person. Give me some gentle amateurs, right? Low res, preferred, and constantly a smoke detector, low battery going off. You'll get me like that. Love the battery. I can't come without the battery. It's so weird, even in real life. So third.
Third?
Yeah.
Love it.
We're all cucks.
We're all cucks.
Because I'm like, we are. We're just like watching everyone. And if you can give me the plot like of their day that led up to why they're having sex, bonus points. Chef's kiss. I'm a whore for lore. Give me the lore of how they got there.
It's just like, ooh, which one is doing a favor for the other one?
I hate seltzers. I recently found out I'm gluten intolerant. I'm trying to find my new alcohol. I'm not having fun with it. I'm a beer person.
I'm telling you, the ciders fuck
The
me up real
ciders
good.
give me, they're too sweet, too much sugar. I feel like ass the next day. Am I right? Tito's vodka.
Free vodka. Straight Tito's.
Someone just
Does
said
that come in a
absinthe.
plastic
That's good.
container? Because I can't come if it's not in a plastic container.
Squirt top. It's like a Valgene with a little hamster ball at the
That's
top.
a good over the edge.
What's the worst thing you ever smelled?
Ass? No, I don't know.
I said the worst, not the normalist.
Are you a millennial? You eating ass?
In this economy.
The worst thing, you know what? So I work in an office. The worst thing I've ever smelled, I'm the night manager. So I always get like the remnants of whatever happens through the day. And like a few weeks ago, I was like walking up and down the hallway in my offices, and I'm like, God, something stinks. And one of the day managers left like old meat and like produce in his garbage can. And it was literally like the worst smelling. Like we had to layer masks. One of my employees put like hand sanitizer on the inside of a mask and then put that, and I was like, I feel like I have to step in at this point. Like that's just not safe at all. But that was probably like the worst smelling thing.
Wow.
It was gross. I can't even describe what it smelled like.
It
was just gross.
Stuff of nightmares.
I'm sorry, Bustle Magazine. I can't.
Why was there meat?
Well, because we all have like mini fridges in our office, but like I don't know. I clean mine out like once a week.
If I may just kind of twist it, not like how was it the meat was there. It was like to what end was meat
to what
there?
End?
Like to what end did we have meat and just rotting in a
I don't
garbage
know.
can?
It was just gross.
Jesus.
Sorry, it wasn't that funny. That's all I got. It was just nasty. I lit a candle and kept the door closed.
You took some sage and smudged it.
It was like every corner. Last one.
What non-dairy item would make a great milk?
Non-dairy item? Oh my god, that's like a hard, weird one that I don't like. Yeah. Wood. Give me some wood milk. You know what I mean? Like a good chestnut. Sorry, that's just the first thing that came to mind.
Christ.
Right? Wood milk?
Yeah, wood.
Raise
You
your
know
hand.
what?
Who's having wood milk? That sounds so gross, and it probably exists. It's 2025. There's wood milk out there.
TM.
TM.
Give it up for Haney, everybody.
You guys.
And all of the comedians you have seen.
For yourselves, you guys. This is Warm Takes. We do it every Friday, every first Friday of the month, 9 p.m. Stick around for Say Yes, and have a good night.
All right. That's right. We're not done. We've got one more show. LOLGBT Plus presents Say Yes. That'll be coming up in, let's call it, it looks like about 9 minutes or so. Basically as quickly as I can turn the stage over. If you're done with us for the evening, check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're live in person Thursdays through Sundays, and we stream everything we do. Tomorrow, the best night of improv you'll find in town. First Saturdays at Stab. It's the best improv. We state our reputation upon it. So come check it out if you want to see improv. Otherwise, stick around for 8 more minutes to see Say Yes.
Baby, I feel so down, and I don't know why. I keep walking for miles. I am people, they don't understand. No girlfriend, they won't understand. Your grandson, they won't understand. On top of this, I ain't never gonna understand. Last night, he said, ooh, baby, I feel so down. And it turns me on when I feel left out. So I turn about. Oh, baby, gonna be alright. It was a great big lie, 'cause I left that night. When people, they don't understand. No girlfriend, they don't understand. Spaceships, they won't understand. On top of this, I ain't ever gonna understand that. Last night, he said, ooh, baby, I feel so down. And it turns me on when I feel left out. So I turned about. Oh, baby, don't care no more. 'Cause I know this boy
boss of society.
girlfriend, they won't
No,
understand. Spaceship, they won't understand. On top of this, I ain't never ever gonna understand that. Last night, he said, oh baby, I feel so down. And it turns me on when I feel that I run around. Oh, darling, don't care no more. I know this for sure. I'm walking out. I'm walking out that door. And I ain't ever gonna Angel smile is what you sell. Promise me heaven, then put me through hell. Chains of love got a hold on me. When passion's a prison, you can't break free. Oh, you're a loaded gun, yeah. Oh, there's nowhere to run. No one can save me. The damage is done. Shot through the heart. You're to blame. You give love a bad name. I play my part and you play your game. You give love a bad name. And your smile on your lips with blood red nails on your fingertips. A schoolboy's dream, you act so shy. Your first kiss, oh, it was your first goodbye. Oh, you're a loaded gun, yeah. Oh, there's nowhere to run. No one can save me. The damage is done. Shot through the heart. You're to blame. You give love a bad name. I play my part and you play your game. You give love a bad name. You give love.
I was trying to get to his bathroom and he was like the cops. I watched 4 cops walk from the gate. Fuck. So then I just had to walk around the block until they left. Someone called and said I was holding suicide. That did not happen.
Shot
Are you
through the
voting?
heart.
Yeah.
You're to blame. You give love a bad name. I play my part and you play your game. You give love a bad name. I'm shot through the heart and you're to blame. You give love a bad name. I play my part. You play your game. You give love a bad name. You give love. You give love. Such a bad name.
So you think I'm saying Andy? What? And she was like, you're that. No, I'm not. That's people in the house. Yes. And she was like, yes. I'm not. That's good. I always get in and out. And then she pulled up the Instagram. She goes to the Hello, welcome to Say Yes. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here tonight. I am with Manny Petty and Katana Ray.
Hi.
This is my new friend because there's a man harassing the crowd. Did I tell you about this? Did you hear about this or see this last week? Oh, there's a very pro-religion man stands in front of mangoes.
Oh, I did hear about him. I said we should go out sometime and read him down.
Oh, I did.
Ah.
Yeah,
So I think
I was amplified. I said I can be funny. Like and the funny point, he was like, you're a slave to your job. You're a slave to your whims. And so I just played.
You're a slave to your religion.
I played. I'm a slave for you. And then he was like, God wants you to do this, and God is that, and God is this. I played God is a woman. And he said, you need to find Jesus. And I said, I looked, bro. I can't find. Where is he? Like, I give up. So I think I won, but he's there tonight. So when we're done, I'm going to go harass him some more. Yeah. And then everyone should go vote for me tomorrow. I'm running for Empress of CGNIE. It's a charity. I would appreciate your vote 12 to 6 at Faces. So thank you. Other than that, how are you guys?
Sorry, I'm trying to. I think I posted the wrong link earlier, so I'm trying to redo it on my Instagram. I'm tagging you both in it so you can repost it too.
Thank you. I'm doing all right. I've just been pretty busy. I got a new job, so I'm starting a new job at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going back to corporate America. So I've just kind of been enjoying the time that I have off right now to like not have an obligation to be anywhere other than in drag.
I was listening to your live yesterday for a little bit. When Taryn tuned in, we were both listening. And I was like, you can go live with her. And she was like, okay. And then I was like, I don't think she knows what. Like, you should request to go live.
Yeah, I would have let Taryn join. I mean,
It was the week of going live, apparently.
Everybody went. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight was this whole like going live phenomena.
yeah, I always want to be more interactive on social media, and I feel like I want to engage more with like the followers and kind of just like kiki and hoo-ha, because I don't know, I enjoy that part of social media. I want to use social media for what it's supposed to be used for, like as a drag entertainer.
Social device. Yeah.
Did anyone, because I was driving, so like I couldn't like read the comments. I was just listening. In the comments, did they want you to talk about like anything that's been going on?
Not really. Nobody really brought anything that was going on up in the scene. It was mostly I had the cats in the background, so everybody was kind of interested in
That's
that.
what I was there for.
Yeah. I talked about my cats. My trans cat, my non-binary cat, and then.
How do you know?
Frida, when we got him, we purchased Frida as a girl, and 6 months has to go by before you get them fixed, and then that's what we were told. But anyway, after 6 months, we took Frida in to get fixed, and they gave us a call and said, "Hey, so everything went well, but we just wanted to let you know that she's a he." So they had to they switched the operation, but it was basically it's simple. But I was just like, oh, and then Danny was like, "Well, I've already raised Frida as Frida, so I guess we'll just use he." And I was like, "Okay, cool, trans cat." I said,
But it's still Frida.
"Yeah, it's still Frida."
Wouldn't
Big Frida.
Big Frida.
Forgive me for my rudimentary Spanish. Wouldn't it be Frido?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it would be Frido, but
it's still Frida.
It's still Frida because we like to have Plumette. Laszlo's full name is Laszlonius. Frida, I just like the way they all kind of sound, and I like a nice feminine name.
You have good cat names.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like a boy. It's like a guy named Ashley.
Oh yeah.
Or Susan.
Yeah,
It's a
boy
Dexter's-
named Sue.
Yeah. Dexter's well, there is also a Dexter's Laboratory episode called A Boy Named Susan.
Oh wait. So do you not know where that comes from?
Well, I know that's a reference to something else. Is that a movie or
a Johnny Cash song?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know there's a song, but in the '90s there was an episode of Dexter's Laboratory where his evil rival, I forget his name, but his name was actually Susan because his parents were hippies.
I get called Susan a lot. I don't love it. I don't mind being called Susie. But Susan is
I'm so fucking dumb. I was like, why do they call you Susan? I don't know why I never thought about it. I was like, that's a random thing to be called.
That's a
Susan. I'm gonna call you that from now on. Whenever I'm like upset, Susan Vanetti.
Your Latin name is Susanna.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you watch any of the lives?
Yes, I watched a few of them, and a few of them were posted after the fact. That's what I feel like on Instagram. If anything is going to be said online, like I had kind of a social media tiff with someone publicly last summer or fall. I don't know. It felt like it was last summer, and a lot of the back and forth was through Instagram stories, and I discovered that way that like nothing really gets achieved through Instagram story vague posting. Like it's like it's petty and it's cunty and it's kind of funny and it's like interesting, it's juicy, but it's not going to achieve anything. At least for me, like I learned that I'm not going to achieve anything by posting on Instagram. Like if you ask me something, I'm going to talk to you in person about it. Like I'll make a public statement if I need to about a grand thing, but if I feel like no, like I feel this way about it, like you can just tell me in person. Like I don't need to be like I'm not like a politician. I'm not a celebrity. Like I'm not like a company. Like I don't have to make these big things unless you ask me, because then I'll be speaking. Like because if I make a statement, I'm speaking on behalf of like a collective of people. Like I had to make a statement on Eve soon for something, but other than that, like I can't.
Like from the account.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't have to. Like I speak for myself, and if you know me in real life, IRL, then I'll talk to you in person and I'll tell you how I feel.
I think it's crazy because like people are like I watched Apples, and I'm not like shading anybody or knocking anybody because different people have different comfort levels in talking to people in actual positions of authority or perceived positions of authority. But like people are like, oh, it's good that you'll talk to people, and I'm like that confuses me because like I'm out at the bar all the time, and I'm like people can just walk up and talk, just not during a show. Because then I'm working. But, like, I was there tonight before the show. People could talk to me. I'm going to be there later probably. People could, like, I don't get it. Like, I am genuinely interested. Is it easier for some people, even, because there's not anonymity, right? Like, I get that, like, a lot of, like, haters and trolls, the anonymity of, like, the screen.
Sorry, I was trying to check the YouTube comments.
The anonymity of the keyboard and the anonymity of the internet empowers them to speak, but like these are people that we perform with, and like their handle is their handle.
Yeah, as if it's supposed to. I think they just get the confidence because it's easier to dodge someone when you're not attacking them directly in person, whereas like most of the time we see some of these attacks coming from performers we never see in general because they're just not booked, and so it's easier to attack you like online and have that confidence because they don't have to worry about running into you in person, whereas like one of us might say something like if you tag me in something on Instagram in a story, I'm not fighting back in the story, I'm hunting you down,
right?
And I'm gonna be like, no, let's talk about this in person.
I don't
need to play this back and forth story game. It's drama. I have people on my social media. They're not there for drama. They're there for her and what I do, and they want to see my cats and my plants and my drag. Cats. And it's like,
I came to that realization recently when I forgot who I was talking to, but I was like, I was talking to my sister, and we were talking about the whole like the repercussions of what's going on in like the social scene.
Your sister.
Yeah. And I was like. She asked me, like, is XYZ going to affect their career, or is it going to affect this stuff? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I think it might, but also, like, if you think about it, like, the audience doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
No.
And that was kind of, like, this situation was kind of like a reality check for that, where, like, there were people who were so unsure, like, what all this attacking back and forth online was, and they were like, what's the tea? And I was like, there's no tea. I'm sorry. Like everything that you're seeing is everything I know.
Yeah, and if it's tea, it's like the tea is between the parties involved and not you. So don't chime in and make it about you.
Yeah, because there's certain things that we as coworkers and we as friends and entertainers who, at the end of the day, and I saw a really good video today that was it was from the Delta Work and Layla McQueen podcast where Layla was like, I don't have to like you, but we're a community, whether we like it or not. Not everybody in community gets along. Not everybody in family gets along. You want to be hateful and nasty? That's fine. I'll still say hi to you at the gig. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call my friend later and talk shit about you and say, oh my God, her breath was so bad. But it's real.
Yeah, I brought Altoids this time.
Well, and like I've been, I don't know if I've ever said it like on here, but like I've worked for a long time with people that don't necessarily like me, like in one show or another. Like that's just, but it's about being professional.
Yeah,
You know,
professionalism.
and like I can be professional, and they can be like. There's very few people that I'd be like, no, I will not do. There's one person at least that I can name that I will not do a show with, and that's because they accused me of something completely outlandish, and I was like, the best way for that never to happen ever again
This is just never be in the room.
never be in the room with them. So like I'm good.
Yeah, I have one entertainer I won't work with for just personal reasons. I find them annoying and obnoxious.
I have like probably 3.
Oh wow.
I mean, in the grand scheme of like humanity, the fact that I only don't fuck with like 3 people or 4 people in the whole entire human race, like, I think that's okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
They all do.
We
drag.
all deserve. Yeah.
Well, because like I can't go to like my boy job and be like, I won't work with them.
No.
Because like,
yeah.
I mean, I could be like, you're fired, but like I don't have that issue even in the workplace. I don't. It's like I think that when it comes to like the drag scene, like we all like most of us are artists. I want to say. We are performance artists in some caliber, so it's like I always find myself like ping-ponging between like we are artists and we are like a collective of people that we should have like a union, like not union, but like a united feeling of like we're all drag artists, we should get along and we should have like a brother sisterhood, siblinghood, whatever. But also I'm like, I've obviously had connections with people in like at Eve's or whatever, and I've always said like we're more of like an artist collective than like a drag family, because we all come from different places and we all do different things.
Yeah.
But we all like universally mostly get along on a common ground, but like we're not all sisters. Like we're not all like everyone in the scene, like expanding from Stockton to like Sacramento. Like I like a lot of people, but like they're not all my sisters or brothers.
Right.
I don't know them like that. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, just because we do drag doesn't mean we're sisters. Like we're in the queer community or whatever, and doing drag puts us, I feel like, in the trans spectrum as well. And I'll always be, if there was like an end game like Infinity War and it was like trans folks versus cis people, I would be on this trans people's team.
Right.
No matter what. Like
no matter what.
Because doing drag, I'm basically stepping into their world and blah blah blah. It's a whole other thing. But like we are in these like this Venn diagram of communities, and in the middle it's like work.
Yeah.
It's like a job we have to do. Mm-hmm. And there's a weird line between like it's my job, I don't have to have personal connection with everybody, and it's a community, we have to be together because we're the same people.
Yeah.
And I think people get that confused with like expectations of like we should all get along because of this, and
I feel like it trickles down from like the participation trophy era. Like I also remember I grew up in that era, so I can talk shit about it if I want, but I also feel like everything that was pushed on us was be nice, like each other, and I feel like we saw a bit of that happen in Drag Race, where like the fandom forgot that it's not that deep, and suddenly everybody, there was a couple of seasons of Drag Race that were just really gross to me because everyone was just being fakely nice, like, hi sister, oh my god, let's squish this beef, la 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 la. Shut the fuck up, show a human emotion. If I don't like you, I don't like you. It doesn't need to be a problem. I don't need to be like immature about it, but to have the notion that all of us in here are going to get along all the time, and we just aren't
That's
allowed
not
to argue
reality.
with each other.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because it's like we can just have our emotions and still put in the work. But now you have an expectation where I have to put myself in positions despite whatever my personal feelings may be about, because the expectation is that we are all nice and we are community. You know?
All I expect is people to be professional.
That's what I want. I want professionalism, you know.
It's like, do I have underwear when I'm saying that?
Because there's one entertainer, which now I can say that, like, we've never had a real connection. I've always tried to, like, build one, and it feels really exhausting to try and force a relationship if there's not one. Like, sometimes we're just not mending well together, and it also doesn't necessarily mean that we have an issue. It's just, your tea's not for me. I don't like that flavor. It's not that deep. If you told me that, I would say, okay, that's fierce, and I would bother you less at the gig. I would say hi to you. I'd say bye to you.
Yeah.
I'd hope you'd have a good day, but if we're not for each other, that's fine. Doesn't mean we need to have beef.
Well, like, that was a huge thing, like, 3 years ago when the whole, like, witch hunt happened, and people were like, makeup and mimosas is evil. It was like, guys, we're in, like, a 200 square foot dressing room for 7 hours. I don't want to have someone in here that can't just be professional. Like, if you can be professional and just not hate me, but like if you're talking shit about me online and you're like talking about how much you hate me, why would I want to share space with you?
Thank you, and also it's my show. It's my show. If I
That
don't want
part.
you there, you don't have to be there. You won't be there. You won't be
Yeah,
there.
I think we've said this like many times, but I don't think anyone who like runs a show is obligated to book anyone just for the sake of them doing drag.
Mhm.
Like it's like if you have the connection or the opportunity to be booked for something, and they give you the opportunity to book other people, I think it's like it's to the own discretion of the person who's hosting or booking to book
Right.
whoever the fuck they want. And like it, I mean, to an extent. I mean, obviously, if there's like an ongoing show and like, or if it's a venue or a club or a bar, that's different.
Yeah.
But you can't. I don't think you can always blame the person who's doing the show as like the issue when it's like a bigger issue.
Right.
Like, but it's a very like circumstance kind of thing. Like it depends on who you're talking about, like the situation and all that stuff.
Well, see that. Okay, so I want to know. So when I was watching like
You want
Apple's
names?
Live,
Okay, I'll tell you who I hate.
if you want to, here.
Wait, who you were tweeting about earlier? I want to talk about that at some point.
Which one?
Oh,
you
yeah,
said
please.
on I was sitting here on Twitter.
Oh,
And
there you are.
You said like
is it the new performers tweet?
like new performers killing their career
yeah,
before it
stop
starts.
killing your career because you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, what is that about?
It's about a couple of newer performers actually. There have been, I think, in the last 2 weeks, multiple instances, and one of them I was involved in directly.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
There have been multiple instances. That is one of the things I'm talking about, but the one that provoked me to do this was something that happened within the last couple of days, where I was just like, I don't know. There's something about this, like the current crop that we have. There's a couple of them that are just like, you just make the space uncomfortable and like it for unnecessary reasons. I don't know, like, because these situations just like don't make sense. Like,
I think people get into this wanting to create drama. Like they watch too much Drag Race and they're like, I'm gonna be the villain.
Yeah,
Like I know you've dealt with that.
yeah.
I know people who have started drag and was like, oh, I'm a drag queen, so I have to be cunty. And it's like, no, like you don't have to be, especially if you can't back it up with your everyday self. Like if you as a person is cunty. If you as a person is like are
Right.
fierce or whatever, that you can back up being cunty, which is not what I recommend. Like even if you are, because there's a lot of people who I think are talented and have a lot of like what's the word, like so much potential of being like a very talented and successful artist, but they're just like unpleasant cunty like people that I'm like, yes, you can get booked and you can work, but like you are just people, you know, that people who know you will think you're just a cunt.
They're being cunty and nasty for the sake of it. Like the intention is to be cunty and nasty because they think that's what we want, where it's like I mean, I'll talk about myself. I'm an asshole. I am in and out of drag. I don't mean to do it. It's not like, you know,
It's just how you are.
It's just how I am. I don't go out of my way to be an asshole. There's sometimes when I say things where like Bijou or Liz or Danny will be like, you want to think about what you just said? And I'm like, okay, I could perceive how that would be a little ill, but it is the truth. I'm a Capricorn. I won't lie to you.
I think I'm way meaner off stage and like you guys here.
Mhm.
But like two people, I try to be really nice.
Yeah, and it's like I
mean, I got this to fight a man with his own. Like I'm awful.
Well, no, he deserves it because
He does deserve it, yes.
I'm gonna be in yours, but like there's just like there's certain things like I don't know. I think growing up, I was the sibling that was always like mischievous. I'm naturally like a little bit of a mischievous person, and then when I would get caught, when I wouldn't get scared to get caught, I'd be like, yeah, I did it.
Sorry. You're like Gilly.
I wouldn't even say sorry. I'd be like, okay.
You knew the punishment. You were like, yeah.
But it's like when I'm out at the clubs and I'm nice to everybody. I say hi. That's not who I am all the time. There's just naturally there are unprovoked moments where, you know.
But you're being professional.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's too much. But okay, so like, here's my question, because a lot of people in Apple's Live were talking about specific shows that they're not booked in, and this is like a recurring theme. And if it's a show that like I'm doing a comedy show at Punchline or here, I don't feel like I owe anybody anything, right? But when it comes to like a Friday or a Thursday at Badlands, what is the like, not the social obligation, but is there an obligation on me or someone like me to book everybody? Like that's what it seems like people want. Like I exist, therefore I should be booked.
I didn't see the entire thing. I came in halfway through because I was watching a movie on Disney Plus, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot what the live.
What were you watching?
I was watching the Marvels.
Oh,
Because I had never. It's like one of the few like modern. Because with like Doomsday coming out, I was like, I need to catch up what's left off with. Because I didn't know where Monica was. And
okay. But side note, what do you think of it?
I thought it was just okay.
I would like to see a different cut.
I just feel like the villain was kind of like wow. And then, like ever since Infinity War, it's like it's hard to have a cool villain that's not Thanos level because it feels like it's not threatening enough.
Can you please say that to that camera because Danny's watching from home?
What?
I need you to say what you just said to that camera about Thanos.
That he's like the best, like the threat or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like because in the Infinity Saga, they built up Thanos with like every like 20 movies, like 10 years worth of movies to like build
at
up
least
to be
18.
Yeah. And when it came, it felt like it was earned, and the threat was like, oh yeah, half the universe is gonna get fucked up, and it's like, and then you didn't know who was gonna die, so it was like the threat and the stakes seemed very high. So with everything else, like when you already kind of know, like, well, they can't kill off like this new Marvel hero in their first movie, so they're not gonna die.
Right.
So they're gonna kill off the villain, and Marvel always kills off the villains in the movie. Other than Thanos,
Which is dumb.
Yeah, and except for Loki. Like Loki is like the only one that's like not.
I feel
killed.
I see. Okay, I have a controversial opinion. I don't think Loki's necessarily a villain.
He's like an anti-hero.
I think
he's an
anti-hero.
anti-villain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is he an anti-hero or an anti-villain?
I think anti-hero because there's definitely shit that Loki does where I'm like, this is not hero behavior.
Oh, that's an anti-villain. So an anti-villain is someone who's a villain, but you're like,
You can be anti-hero. Like Harley
What?
Quinn is an anti-hero.
is she an anti-hero?
Yeah,
I thought
like
she was an
because
anti-villain too.
And I think the word is anti-hero because like they're not quite a hero, but they're not a villain. They're like Catwoman is an anti-hero because she's not like a villain, but she's got like she'll do things selfishly, but she won't like let Batman die.
Right, but there is a
But
difference.
she'll steal diamonds
No,
from
right. There's a difference between anti-villain and anti-hero, though. That's what I'm saying. Is
I feel like it's probably the same.
because I think a villain,
Yeah.
an anti-villain, is someone who's like a villain, but they do some heroic things.
Like Nebula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before she turns.
I also think Loki, and I think an anti-hero is like, what's his name from The Boys?
The Butcher?
No, the Homelander.
Oh no, he's a hardcore villain. Like
He's just a villain.
He's like Satan. Yeah, like he's
Okay.
like he's the antithesis of Superman.
Well,
basically.
I've said this to you, but Deadpool's an anti-hero, and that's
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What you said is yeah, you're correct because it's like Loki is like he's a villain, but sometimes he'll do like heroic things.
Right.
Whereas like
You're Deadpool.
whereas like
I'm
anti-heroes
Deadpool,
will be like they're heroes, but they'll do like some normally not right things. Like they'll like kill people. Or
Oh,
they'll-
like on Invincible, they have some anti-heroes.
I haven't watched.
You know what?
Invincible.
To loop back to the conversation before to tie it in with this, I'm Deadpool. I'm the Deadpool of the
You are
sack
Deadpool.
scene. I'm not horrible. I'm not evil, but I'm also not like good. You know, Deadpool definitely says some stuff where you're just like, it doesn't come with malintention, but it's a little bit of a, hey.
Yeah, you're absolutely like the whole superhero. Because remember when I brought it up, and yeah, I have a whole thing now. Like it's and I ran it through ChatGPT, and it's like,
Of course you did.
of course,
Now you're an anti-villain.
Oh my gosh, you killed
I'm an
so many
anti-villain.
trees.
Well, that makes. I mean, I'm Spider-Man, so that makes.
I bet
sense
you
that
use the
people
Studio
hate me.
Ghibli AR too, huh?
No,
Okay. good.
no. I use ChatGPT like a tool. Like it's I don't want it to come up with the original idea. I want it to basically be a super Google. I'm like, tell me.
Well, Google's already basically AI too. Like,
Well, you know,
Right.
get, the first thing is always AI.
yeah.
I gotta say, whatever the fuck happened with my phone, they like now I have an AI assistant, and it's so much fucking stupider than like the previous like voice assistant.
Yeah, I think everything that's just gotten like an AI assistant is so far into the early stages that it's not going to work for any of us
It's
because
way too
they
beta.
have no idea what's wrong with it yet.
Right. I'll be like, call such and such, and it's like, you want me to play that song, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
is happening? But no, you are absolutely Deadpool. Like hands down, boots down.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't go out of my way to be a Deadpool. I naturally am that way. I don't always, pay attention or like it's not. I'm not coming at it with malice. It's just rolls
You're
off.
having fun.
Yeah.
You're existing.
I'm not intentionally trying to hurt you because if I wanted to hurt you, you'd be crying, bitch.
Exactly. And like that's why I'm like, oh, I'm Spider-Man, because there are some people that just fucking hate me. And I'm like, what'd I do?
Yeah. There is like I feel like there's like a random Spider-Man hate.
There's a lot of I got multiple.
But I think we can all agree that like
People don't hate Spider-Man. You mean like in universe?
Oh
people?
yeah, in universe.
yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes it's half of New York City.
Well, but that's like almost due to propaganda.
Well, yes. I repeat, I
Oh,
am
yeah, okay,
Spider-Man.
okay,
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Propaganda. There is
Peter
so
Parker
much.
for sure.
There is so much Suzette
I
propaganda.
answered my own question as I was saying. You're like, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that regard, you are right.
And I'm very Peter Parker too.
You just need someone to out you at on national TV. Like,
Oh my god. I would hate that. That'd be my worst nightmare.
Dixon Hurd commented.
Okay.
They're like, they said, how about Blake Lively, anti-hero or anti-villain?
Blake Lively? Ooh. Blake Lively's an anti-hero. I mean, if Justin Baldoni's like telling the truth, Blake Lively's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Do you know about that?
To be honest,
That's the one like the director she worked with. Or,
The director
yeah.
she worked
they're
with,
like suing each other or something right
and he
now.
said she was fat, but then like I guess she was like miserable to him. And then Nice Pool in Deadpool Wolverine is basically a caricature of Justin Baldoni.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's like, you made fun of me, and everyone's like, well, but it was funny.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be
Sorry.
that funny, like,
yeah, I know.
I
I don't want to
mean,
laugh, but I think I have to.
yeah, we all got a good kick out of you with your man bun.
Blake Lively, though. I don't pay attention to much going on, but I really like the movie Age of Adeline. The only thing I would change about it. Do you guys want spoilers?
I don't even know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking
Spoiler alert for anyone viewing.
I know everything MCU. I don't know what.
Well,
you're
there's a
talking
dog in the movie that dies at some point. It's
Oh,
not like
no.
tragic or anything.
Is
It's
John Wick in the movie?
John Wick, yes.
Because
yeah.
then it's bad news.
No,
I hate when dogs. Like, there's a
I-
website called "Does the Dog Die?" and it has an archive of movies that says that the dog dies or not.
Yeah, I hate the movie I Am Legend specifically because the dog
That
died.
movie should go to hell.
That movie can. Yeah, I'll never watch that movie again. I am so fine with humans dying all day long,
Yeah.
left, right. I don't care how
Mhm.
old they are.
Yeah,
but
animals. Yeah, no.
animals, that's where I draw the line.
That's why I've never seen Neverending Story.
Yeah,
Because
and-
my nephew was watching it, and it was that scene where the horse is stuck in the mud.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, "We're not watching this." I'm sorry. He was like
No.
9, and
No,
I'm like,
I
"We're not
won't,
watching
yeah.
this." Even though like he comes back in some way at the end, but I'm like, "Nope, the horse has died. I'm not watching this."
No.
I got asked. I did the comedy show right before this, and it was, would you rather have a pet parrot or pet squirrel? The parrot says your most embarrassing thing, and the squirrel steals your socks. And I just imagined a little squirrel like dying and like clutching his little heart and reaching out for you and going.
Yeah, no.
And that broke my heart.
I can't do it. I haven't.
Like, does the squirrel die if you don't choose him in that scenario, or what?
No, he just stole my socks.
Then why would he die?
I don't know, because we're talking about animals dying, and I thought, fuck, it would be so sad to watch a squirrel die of
I
like
thought it was
heartbreak.
like either you have a parrot or you have a squirrel, and then if you pick the parrot, the dog, like
The squirrel dies?
The squirrel just dies instantaneously.
That changes the whole prompt, honestly. the
Bullet,
parrot,
gun,
the parrot has
parrot
a
or the
foot with the
squirrel?
gun to the
Yeah.
squirrel's head.
Literally.
So yes, so
Anyway,
Yes.
the reason I wanted you to say that to Danny was because he always gives me shit because I don't really keep up with anything like Marvel related anymore. Because we've talked about this a million times. I feel like my generation of like Avengers is done, and we ended with Endgame, and I feel like Endgame, Infinity War was for some of us our like thank you from the Marvel universe in a way. We got closure on a lot of things. There was a lot of characters that just like went away.
have you not seen the Deadpool Wolverine movie?
I have seen parts of it. I haven't like sat down to like watch it simply just because I don't have like enough time.
We need to
But
watch it.
I don't like keep up with anything Marvel, anything going on to like I don't know who these people are that you're talking about. You could show me 8 groups of people and none of them could be who you were just talking about, and I would believe that all of them are that person.
So Captain Marvel?
I don't know who that is. No, I know who that is. But I just feel like for me, because I had been invested in all fucking 72 hours of the entire 10 years by the time we got something like Endgame,
Yeah.
that for me was like, okay, this new wave of Marvel that we're gonna come in and bring in now that so many of these people are leaving, it's my time to tap out. I said, I think I'm always a girl who leaves before the end of the party, because I feel like
Candace Luann.
yeah.
Show up last, leave first.
Yeah, show up last, leave first, and I think that when you find like I know that it was sad and tragic, but I found like Endgame almost beautiful in a tragic kind of way, and I was like, I'm gonna tap out before new producers ruin this because
Before Tony comes back as Doctor Doom.
yeah, no, that to me is fucking bullshit. I don't want to see that shit. Don't fucking show me that shit. Danny was like, "Do you want to watch it?" I said, "No, I don't think you understand. I want nothing to do with that. I'm so uninterested in that."
I'm hyped just to see Rebecca Romaine back as Mystique. That's the only thing I'm
My
excited
queen,
about.
my diva.
Mhm.
But like even now, like I just it.
Not
I think
Jennifer Lawrence?
I think the way
Fuck
I
no.
think the reason I'm this way is because I was a really big fan of Lucifer, the TV
The
show,
TV
On
show.
Netflix.
and then when Netflix took over, it got very hodgepodgey. It was very evident that these were Netflix producers, like writing this honky tonky like script, and it ultimately like the show. It caused the show to end. The show was canceled because of it, and like we as the fans were like, "This is not how you can end this show. Give us one season." But even then, like the first 3 seasons are my favorite. I'll watch the first 3 seasons over and over again. But I like the concepts of where they took like season 4, we get to meet Eve, you know, and then the final season you learn like Lucifer goes through all this craziness, and it's all about the pearly gates of heaven and blah blah blah. But that's like to me, it feels like we reach a certain point where it's just like, I don't need the devil to have a good ending. Like he was just kind of a dick. He kind of just dicked around the whole time, and you know he was looking for his next purpose. That was the point of the whole thing. Was I want to be I'm gonna be this detective. You know, that was funny to me because he was still very like anti-hero, and then it's like now we're making him like, you've come full round, you are a great person, the gates of hell have now changed. Fuck that. Like it's the gates of hell. I don't want hell to have a happy ending. It's hell. Can one thing not have a happy ending?
I feel like a lot of shows suffer from like they're successful initially, but then like they're so like lucrative that they're like, let's keep pushing them out, pushing new seasons and new things, even though like they'll have source material that will like give them stuff. But it's like at that point, like after like 10 years, I'm like, I've grown out of this series a little bit. Like Walking Dead, I was fully into Walking Dead.
When were you out?
When Glenn got killed.
Okay, see,
Spoiler, it's been like years, but
yeah, I mean, move on.
I
checked,
tapped out after season 3.
I don't know what season it was, but as soon as they were in the farmhouse for 5 or 6 episodes in a row, I was like, oh, they don't have budget. They got one set. And I mean, I think it got better after that, and they went into the guy with the bat.
Yeah, that's when
what
guy,
was his name?
Negan.
Yeah,
that's when I checked out because they had a Caesar
because he killed Glenn.
They had a Caesar salad, and then they were like, no, they had a season finale where like someone got killed, but you didn't know who it was, or was it? It might have been a mid-season finale, but like, so they made you wait like months to find out who it was.
And then,
and then it was like this major character that like never died, and he should have died probably a lot more closer.
Which one?
Glenn.
Oh yeah, no, I watched. I watched a lot of.
Yeah.
Like I know all the original characters. I don't know like Michonne. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Well, she was cool because she's got a katana.
For sure. I just didn't. I never saw her because she was at post farm. For me, it's like before Farmhouse and after Farmhouse.
Yeah. Well, like so you saw when like the girl's sister was in like in the barn.
Yeah.
So like that's where like well in that particular show it's like there's no like happy ending. There's just like
there's spin-offs.
Everyone's gonna die at some point.
At some point,
even if they find like a safe place, it always ends up being corrupt or fucked up or something. And like for me, like I was like, I want something that'll make me feel a little bit better when I watch it, not feel worse.
Yeah.
So like when they got rid of Glenn, I'm like, I just don't like I don't. And that guy ended up being like a good guy towards like the later seasons. Like
Negan?
he was like a main character later on.
That's like Fast and the Furious. Like one movie's villain is like then he joins a team. It's like he just
like The Rock and
like he just tried to destroy the whole familia, and he like ruined the cookout, and he like fucked you all over, and then it's like, well, we really need to fight this next bad guy. Go get the last bad guy.
Well, it's one of those things like it's like anime where there's like there's this super strong character that no one can beat, and then we unlock this special ability that we just always knew about but never used. Like Sailor Moon uses that a lot. Like, oh, I forgot, I have a silver crystal power of love and friendship. This will kill anybody. And then the next season's like, oh, I forgot. I also have this super chalice with wings on it. I can turn into super.
That's me in a lip sync
And
battle.
it's like, or like in Demon Slayer, they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm gonna beat this, and they pass out, and then they have like a flashback, like, remember when they taught us that secret technique that we never use when we like use our whatever? And I'm like, okay, now you're just like coming up with things that you just didn't know.
Now you're making it obvious that
it makes
you're
the
right,
previous
yeah.
threat seem less threatening.
Very Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, I
Deus
hate
Ex
when
Machina.
I
Deus
hate
Ex?
when they
Yeah.
like make a
Deus
villain.
Ex.
No, I played Deus Ex.
No,
The game?
No, Deus Ex Machina. Machina.
Oh, it's a Deus Ex Machina.
No. What I'm saying it wrong. It's Italian, I think. It's Hand of God.
Oh,
Like-
there's a
like-
game called Deus Ex Machina.
Oh no. I mean, it's probably based off that, but this is just like we don't know how to fix it, so like basically we'll create a new power.
Actually, I made that up. It's not. I don't think it's called Deus Ex Machina. I might have made that up. I might have just heard it and thought, oh, Deus Ex. That's probably a spinoff. But like True Blood was like that, where it went like 7-something seasons, and they're like, okay, they ran out of stuff to say. Now she's a fairy, and
What was the one on FX with vampires and David Bradley?
was that
And
Vampire Diaries?
Corey
or-
Stoll?
No,
No,
I
it
don't
was
know.
New York
That's the
City.
CW. I like that show.
I don't think I finished that, but it was also going to have like the world's going to be like destroyed. Like
Yeah.
Or like Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like that one went on, and I was like, that was a cool show. The first like 2-3 seasons,
yeah.
it just fell off so hard. Like it low key, like high key fell off so hard.
didn't
Towards
know
the
it
end, I was
fell
like,
off.
this is such a stupid show. I felt stupid for watching it.
I am not a fan of remakes. I rarely ever see ever. I can't think of one remake of something where I've been like, that's better than the original. Like when Disney decided to remake Adventures in Babysitting, I said that was never a Disney movie, guys. Like that, like it was like an adult action that could be watched with kids. But once Disney got their hands on it, they Disney it. You know, they make it all like sensory, like.
I
How
think-
many baby sisters do you have in your drag family?
2.
2,
Oh.
1.5.
I think it's funny because like I was like, there's like 2 or 3 things that I do like after they got rebooted because their initial source material was so bad, but I can't think of what it was, and because I'm just like, or I like them in its own way. Like I like Hairspray, the movie Hairspray, and I like the musical Hairspray, but I don't think of them as 2 things. I
What
think
about the
them-
made-for-TV
Or-
special with Ariana Grande?
That one was okay because that one
I like made-for-TV specials because they're one-offs, and we kind of just like it's fun, it's quirky, it's theater, but I don't need to see it.
because you so rarely get to see a stage like a Broadway production
Yeah.
recorded. So
Right.
it's like that's basically like they followed that more
That
because
had Dove
in that-
Cameron too, right?
Yes, as like she was Kristen Chenoweth.
Kristen Chenoweth,
Snow, Brittany
Brittany
Snow
Snow's
played
character. It
her
was
in,
I think it depends on
How
the
did I forget her
material.
name?
Because like if they remake Back to the Future, like kill me.
Amber. Von
Amber.
Tussle.
Thank you.
I had to do the roll call. Like Amber.
I do the roll call in my head.
Amber Von Tussle. Because I like the Broadway version because it kind of calls out Tracy Turnblad for being like a white savior a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas the movie fully embraces the white savior thing.
Yeah.
And then in the movie, she was kind of white savior, but she seemed more like an activist and not so much like a I speak for everybody kind of thing.
Well, I feel like that's kind of like the twist of like kind of what John Waters was trying to achieve with the first one, because I feel like anything John. I'm a big John Waters fan. I think that like there's something that's my genre right there. Like I love Crybaby. I love when
Crybaby.
It's so wrong and it's so in your face. Like this is satire. This is like it's like the key points that we're hitting are so like present, but they're done in such like a realistic way. Or like I kind of feel like I enjoyed Crybaby because I felt like it was told through the point of view of the person that's normally the antagonist in everybody's like performances, whereas like I think if anybody else had written it, it would have been told through Mrs. Vernon Williams' point of view, and Crybaby's whole arc would have probably been a little different, and like it would have been more cheesy in the sense of like you're a better person now. But it's like no, you get to see that like Crybaby was never really a bad person. Crybaby had a lot of trauma, and there's things that happen.
I think Crybaby did what like Grease wanted to do.
I agree.
Where it was like he's kind of a bad boy, but he's like kind of popular.
Mhm.
But then like she didn't want to change for him. She wanted to be like she always wanted to be that, not just for him, but just because she wanted to be that.
That's
kind of
who
person.
she is, but she never.
She
got
had to be
to.
trained to be like this like
Yeah.
pretty girl, whatever. But then in Grease, Sandy was like basically like I'll change my whole entire look just to be with
Just
him.
for you, yeah.
And even though at the end, at least in the movie version, he was almost kind of being kind of preppy towards the end.
Yeah.
And then, see, that's why Grease 2 is superior to me. But like, Grease 1, like,
This is the one thing Katana and I will never agree on. Is Grease 2.
well, okay,
I
Grease
hate
2,
it and she loves it.
I think Grease 2 is just like, I think it's just funnier. It's just more, because you know the main thing is that it's just so 80s. And I think it's so funny because like when you're old, like I was a 90s kid, but like growing up when like a movie's made like decades before you were born, you're thinking, oh, that's how like the 50s were. And it was like, this is told like the Grease 1 is like, this is a 70s movie, but it's like
the 70s.
But in my mind, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this is how the 50s looked. Like no wait, this is the 70s. And then like, especially with musicals, because like when Grease 2 came out, it was like 1988 or something like that, or mid 80s, I feel like. But it's such an 80s soundtrack that it's like in my head, I'm like, I don't think of this as a 60s movie. I think of it as an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's based in the 60s. But like when you think about musicals, when modern musicals come out, like when Rent came out, Rent was like, that was a modern day musical.
Yeah.
So now I think, oh, that's a 90s musical because it's like 90s sound. But it's at the time it was modern.
So what do you think of Hamilton?
Well, Hamilton is.
I love Hamilton.
I don't think of Hamilton as like, this is what the 1700s sounded like. Like,
well, and
it's
that,
not. It's not like 1776.
That,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
like, and that was his intention with writing Hamilton that way. It was
to be
to create like, in his mind, like this is how history should have been told. We should have had people of color in these rooms. We should have had like, you know, all soul comes from somewhere. Like I took a history of like music class in college, and like a lot of the things that we have today come from things and like the earlier days when music started to develop. Like how did we get from Mozart to reggaeton and like all these different like things in terms of like, I think the cultural aspect of like what music really is we got a lot of this stuff from people of color, Black communities that we took sounds from and we're like, okay, I'm gonna tweak it and now it's mine. And now it's popular because I'm not Black and it's a racist world.
Oh, Elvis.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like, I that's what I appreciate about Hamilton is I love how classic everything is in the way that the physicality of the stories go, but I love how like modern it is because that's what musicals are about. You're hearing people's internal thoughts. Like one of us is not about to break out into song in real life, but musicals,
you don't know that.
We kind of get away with it. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So many of y'all like to fucking stand around and sing, you theater kids. But I just feel like, yeah, like why couldn't George Washington's internal thoughts have been like in Soul? And I think that's like the liberation, the like liberty you get with like writing theater, but it's still very like historically based. Like there's a lot of true things that did happen and carried the way, but it's an interesting way to hear history.
I think it's a lot of times with musicals, it's like people. I think it's like a piece of their brain doesn't really get it, and it's not that I think people who like musicals are more like superior to people who don't, but I feel like when people are like they just sing too much or whatever, I'm like. There are some times where when you're telling a story, like you can't always gather someone's emotion or what they're feeling in that moment without having like inner dialogue or inner things. Like sometimes you can feel something through music. So like, if they're feeling like, oh fuck, like I feel anxiety or I feel sadness and whatever, like sometimes you can't convey that unless you're doing it through music.
Yeah.
And that's just a different media for people to be like, oh, I get, because I can feel what they're singing because I'm hearing it. But it's not like they're on stage like, oh, I'm so sad right now.
Because then I feel like without the music, it everything's just dark.
Yeah.
Like Waitress without music would be a completely dark play. Like,
well, have you seen the movie?
Yes, I have.
I see. I don't like the movie, but I like the musical.
I'm a big fan of the musical. The movie's all right. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but it's just like when you're listening to like what baking can do. The intro beat is dun 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 dun, dun and you're kind of like, oh, and you're moving with her, and she's like, make it work, make it easy, and then as like it's progressing, you start to like listen to the lyrics, and she's singing about how sad her life is, but she's putting on a happy face for it, and it's like what baking can do is all about like her hiding her problems and like missing her mother, and so it's like she's like, when I'm baking this pie, I put everything that I feel into it, and then I cut the slice, I put it on a plate, and it's on someone else's plate for a while.
Which is what artists do. Like if you want to think of heady about it, it's like you want to get like deep. It's like she'll take whatever she's going through, and she's like, well, I'll make a pie out of this.
Yeah.
And it's like based on her emotions and her feelings, and like this is what artists do. Like we take what we're feeling and we like put it on a canvas.
How often do you do that with drag?
I used to do it all the time, and then sometimes I feel like it's a little too much, depending on the venue. Like sometimes I'm like, if I'm at the club, I'm like, do you want to hear about my suicide thoughts?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, maybe not the right time and the right place. But like I was just tweeting about this like 2 years ago. I was like, I always used to do like serious like sad drag a lot because I feel like no one does that, and I like seeing serious drag myself. But I'm like, I always struggle with like, oh, I want to do like serious like heady concepts again, but it's hard because I'm like, there's nowhere to do it. That it's like I'm not gonna go to the club and be like,
Yeah, I'm not
talk
gonna go to
about that stuff.
Badlands and when everybody else is doing top 40s, I'm gonna do the one.
The only place I could probably think about doing it at Badlands is like New Drag Showcase, but like
Yeah.
I just don't.
But that's because when we go to New Drag Showcases, like co-hosts and stuff like that, we're there as like. To me, I always feel like when I'm invited to perform there, it's like we know what you're really good at, and you have an opportunity to potentially teach some of these other new performers kind of where to go or like how to access what they're looking for. And like there are some nights where like I want to do something more serious because I want to show like if this is what you want to do, commit to it, make it interesting. And this is how I would argue that like my aesthetic is more showgirl.
Yes. Who's
and-
arguing that?
Huh?
Who's arguing against that?
I just like to hear it.
You are very showgirl.
But like
Deadpool the
I feel
showgirl.
like Deadpool the showgirl. But like I feel like like most of what we hear when we think of showgirl is the kind of high energy like da smile pose. But like then you see movies like The Last Showgirl, and I was like, yeah, that is some of us. And
I love that shit.
sometimes I want to do a sad showgirl scene.
Okay.
I love like the sad tears of a clown.
I-
I love the whole concept of like a sad clown because clowns are supposed to be funny, but then on the inside they're sad, and it's like that's basically what we are. Like we're not forced, like we entertain, and that's what we do to make ourselves feel better. But on the inside, we feel like shit.
There are days where, and I know you guys, because you guys perform as much as I do, there are days where you're not feeling it. And like I still have to show up and I still have to be me, you know, and like I sometimes I will do like a ballad on a Friday. Like I don't care. Like I like doing praying when I want to, and I like doing backstabber when it's appropriate. Or like last week I did One Last Time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God. Or no, I did Breathin'. That's what I did. I did Breathin' in my One Last Time look. Because I was like, oh my God, like we all need this right now because it was.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like if you do like a well-received like sad song, the audience will be appreciative because they take a moment to take a break. And you know, people come to see us do drag to disconnect.
Keep going.
You know, not everyone obviously, but like there are people out there who they come and they come to watch us, and it brings them joy. And it's just like sometimes though, it like I've done one or two sad songs where like somebody's come up and been like, you know, I really needed that. Like what you were doing out there, I felt. And I was like, well, good, because I was letting everything that was going on in me out on that stage, and I'm glad that we could share that moment.
I don't want to say the full quote because I don't have authority to say the full quote from this person, but we were talking about what makes a good performer. And a good performer is performing for the audience. And sometimes that means we're taking what we're feeling and other people are feeling. And maybe we don't know they're feeling it, but I think when you perform as much as you do or as I do, sometimes you trust your instinct and you take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And if you are good at performing that dramatic, sad moment, which I think you both are, then I think people can relate to it.
Yeah, because the notion that I'm the only person in the room who's having a hard day is crazy. So
it can't be all 10 numbers.
Yeah. Somebody else has got to, you know, be feeling that. We don't want a depressing show, but you know, if we do one song, like somebody on Instagram really likes when I do "Deserve Me" because they enjoy the way I tell the story. It's very sexy. And it's very like I use my feather fans, but the lyrics themselves are really sad. It's the Caliuchis and Summer Walker song, and they're talking about like how you as a man, you don't deserve me, like, and they kind of, you can tell that these two people are referencing something that they know about, and so to me, that almost feels like I look at songs almost as like a script. and I kind of break them down like I would like in acting. What emotion am I feeling here? Why? Because every single lyric is there intentionally.
I think it said white. Because what emotion am I feeling? White.
Because every single word is there with intention. That's why in
Say that to the camera though, because like I think enough
every
people.
single word is there with intention.
Oh, sorry, what did I knock?
Oh, is that me?
I think so, but like I don't think people think about that. Like the lyrics are there, and it's not just about like I know them. It's like breaking down a script. Like, okay, so when I've done Shakespeare, have you ever done Shakespeare?
Oh, baby.
Okay, I assume so. I
I'm
just
a
didn't want to.
Shakespeare.
Okay.
My specialty is Shakespearean.
Okay, have you ever?
I've played
No.
Shakespeare in love.
Okay, so when you do Shakespeare and you do it in like the Bard's English,
Mhm.
like it doesn't make sense at all.
Mhm.
But if you figure out what you're saying, you can still say it in the Bard's English, and all of a sudden somehow
Yeah.
it's all conveyed to the audience. But you have to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's the same like with Greedy. Like
Yeah.
it's just a bop. Somebody's told me if anyone does that on Ari Night but me, they're gonna riot. And I was like, well, I will pass that along.
I've got my songs and none of them are greedy.
But like even just a dumb fluff piece like Greedy, like still has intentional lyrics. I don't know.
I had a director tell me once during a play, like just as like kind of like a note, your job is to find what that word means to you because that word means something to that person. And that kind of relates back to like with Shakespeare, because I love Shakespeare. I think that Shakespeare's one of the most brilliant writers. I love the stories, and she was gay. But I think,
Quite.
yeah. But I think that a lot of people hate Shakespeare because they don't take the time to understand what it means. Because I guarantee you, if you could take the time to understand Shakespeare, you would love Shakespeare, because the way that stories are constructed and characters are created, it's almost like a exploitation of whatever pinpoint we're looking for. And I think that's a vision of the time, you know, the 1500s, the 1600s. That's kind of how they spoke in terms of like words are more poetic. I forgot where I was going with
I mean,
this.
that's why I don't like Nosferatu. I was like, they all speak like that,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm too slow for this. I don't
Mhm.
understand. I understand what they were saying, but it took
Right.
me out a little bit. Where it felt like they were just reciting like Shakespeare to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, why is Kick-Ass saying Shakespeare? Like, and like I was also tired from work, so I probably was a little bit like out of it, and I had to pee twice. So that's probably why. But a lot of time I was like, I thought like the photography and the cinematography was like stunning, but like the actual dialogue, I was just like, I felt like I was just watching Johnny Depp's daughter just do Shakespeare.
Yeah, if you're not like, Danny and I have that because I have a Shakespeare book with every single play in it, and I will like flip through like my favorites and like talk about them, and Danny will be like, I don't remember that play being that way when I read it in school, and I'm like, well, you probably weren't taught Shakespeare right. You were probably taught by somebody who didn't know how to speak Shakespearean. Because if somebody comes up to me and says, then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee, I know what they're saying. You know, it's, you know.
And I remember in high school, like we had to go like line by line to like, do we know what this means? And sometimes I'm like, not quite sure. And we had to like, reading comprehension is something that a lot of people just lack these days, just in general. And it's like, there's also like reading comprehension and like media literacy, I think people say, like when they can't like understand what like a video or a meme is telling you, it's like, y'all don't have any media literacy. And I'm like, it's kind of scary because like people who like, again, like people who don't like musicals or whatever, like I just don't like how they sing the whole time.
Like that, yeah,
it's like,
well,
that's
it's
the
called
point
a
of a musical.
I was gonna ask, have you ever seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I am the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I don't think so.
I love it. So it's a comedian, Rachel. I'm blanking on her last name because I'm so unprepared to talk about her. But she's hilarious, and she has this show. Well, she had a show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and every episode has at least one musical number.
Oh, is that the one where she's like, let's generalize about men or whatever?
Yeah, the songs were like that.
Helen used to tell me about that one.
Helen has done a bunch of songs. I've done a couple. Apple likes it. It's not a big four thing though, because Taryn doesn't watch it. But no, I'd like I don't know. I think that had a very specific audience. But I can imagine people watching it and being like, why are they singing?
Yeah.
But it was really, I think she said it was like her inner monologue.
I think, well, and I feel like, and this might just be me and my personal thoughts, but I feel like most people who don't like musicals also don't like plays, and I'm like, do you just not get them?
I don't know if I like plays. I can't think of a play that I like. Like, oh, I like that play. I can't think. Oh, I did watch Murder on the Orient Express at the Stockton Civic Theater, and I was thoroughly entertained. I also had a cocktail before.
Yeah.
But I also knew half the people in the cast, so it was just.
I think what makes or breaks people's experience with plays is the cast. It's 100% because you can see the same play with completely different casts and have completely different experiences.
I get dumbfounded by like the lines memorization. Like I was watching the musical, and our friend Joe, Brian's husband, who comes to Eve's, was the mayor of Whoville, and it's like Shakespeare. Like they're all talking in rhymes, and it's like very like fantastical, like playful wordplay. But I'm like, how did you memorize all these fucking words? Because like these are all like words that I guess maybe because they rhyme, they feel a little bit better. But like, it's just like it's so perplexing. But also, Murder on the Orient Express. It's not like the movie because I never saw the movie or anything. So like they didn't have like cutaways to show you visually what was happening. The guy had to tell you in a French accent the entire plot of the murder and how it happened and when he. And so I was just like, I was kind of like not taken out, but I was like, wow, like they know all these words and no one messed up once. And like, and they're all like different ages and different demographics. So I'm like, and yeah, like I guess being live in a play to watch it is different than watching it like on screen, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
I'm not a fan of watching recorded plays.
No,
I
they're not made for that medium.
I don't. Yeah, no, they're not. That's the purpose of live theater. Yeah. The movie manipulates what we see. The theater is supposed to give everybody an authentic experience from their own angle.
You can do it like Hamilton on Disney Plus. Like you can do a stage play for film.
Or Cats.
Every single play has
Cats 1997 Cats.
Oh,
not,
yes,
not
yes,
Cats
okay.
the movie. I don't talk about that one.
Every Broadway play has its own pro shot, so they're all filmed that way. We just don't get access to them. They go in an archive, and
they should put them
don't
on
show it to
streaming. They should put
anybody.
them on, and like they should just pay.
They
for
do
people.
have a Broadway streaming platform,
Yeah.
but they only put like 30 up, and then they take them away and put a new 30. So like, I really want the archived waitress with the original waitress.
Yes.
They have the Jessie Mueller.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The best waitress that we'll ever have. I think we've had amazing waitresses since, but that woman made that role.
Yeah.
And to me, nobody will ever top her. And as we're like,
Well,
the Sarah Bareilles.
not in Sacramento.
No, yeah, seeing her.
But like the Sarah
seeing her on the-
Bareilles version, I don't like. Even though she wrote all of it, I don't like it.
I don't mind it because I also, but yeah, like when the original performed at the Tonys, that's what got me even like on that radar because I was not looking at the Waitress musical at all.
Me either.
And then when I saw her do
when they were
She Used to Be
nominated for the
Mine,
Tony, I was like,
and then I was like, okay, like this is good, and like it was kind of like maybe because I had seen Waitress, but I'm like usually like those kind of like Midwestern kind of like white people musicals like don't like Oklahoma or anything. Those ones like they never like appeal to me.
Yeah.
Well, just like that kind of like it's set in
it's
American
based in-
Midwest, whatever, and it's based in like Middle America. But like that one, I was like the fact that it was written by Sarah Bareilles, and I was like not really a big Sarah Bareilles fan, but like I like that almost like I can listen to the whole soundtrack. I don't like love all of them, but it's very like pleasant to listen to. But again, in that regard, because she's a songwriter, like she knows how to structure a song based on like emotion and stuff. And it's not an easy show to make into a musical, so
no, it's not.
she made it pretty successful.
No, and like she did a fantastic job. I even enjoyed the pre-Broadway track. For those of you who don't know, play goes out, and then you are told by the Academy that they're going to move you to a pre-Broadway stage to see if you can get to Broadway.
I think I saw that on Smash.
But there's different versions. So by the time you guys see a play on Broadway, that is not what it was like in previews, pre-Broadway, or even when it's first written. And I think that they had a lot of amazing songs that were cut, but all the songs that stuck were also kind of amazing. But looping back to Sarah Bareilles, I think she's a fantastic singer, and that was my issue, was watching her do Waitress. It's a singer doing a musical, whereas Jessie Mueller is an actress who can sing, who is telling a story. There's singing and
You have to
performance.
act.
Yeah, singing and acting are two different ways to tell a story, and that's why I'm not a big fan when they put like popular people in, because sometimes it's like,
Are you coming for Ariana Grande?
no,
Okay.
no, that I like. We'll get to Wicked.
That's an
We'll get to
actress.
Wicked
That's
in a
an
second.
actress.
We'll get to Wicked in a second, but I just feel like my biggest issue was she was singing. She wasn't tapping into the emotion that she wrote necessarily visually for me to see. Vocally, I could hear it. Vocally, I might be able to hear a little bit of pain, but like the way she was acting was just like, I'm Sarah Bareilles saying lines, and now I'm gonna sing my song.
I think that's a good thing to like.
That's how it was with the Joker.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just Gaga saying words and singing songs.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I've seen Gaga act like on American Horror Story, but Gaga's not an actor.
But I liked her in Star Is Born.
Oh yeah, but I think
But
she
for
was playing herself.
Yeah, which I don't mind.
And I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people, especially in drag, forget that like not everybody is good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
like,
that's okay.
It is like just because I don't dance,
I'm not a dancer
on stage in heels. Like I'm also like, look, I need a pole. If I'm dancing in these,
Yeah,
I want a pole.
I know very few girls who can dance in shoes that high. Kamaya Punani is one of them. Like,
And God bless her, she's amazing. And the fact that I walk and look good walking, like, but
Yeah.
people are like, oh, she don't dance, and I'm like, okay, but I'm not unskilled,
yeah,
and I'm not saying someone who can just dance. That's a Gaga song.
Mhm.
Is like, I'm just saying I know. I'm not saying they're not skilled because they can't do what I can do. People are just like, oh, if you can't, and we've had that episode, but like, if you can't style a wig, if you can't
Yeah.
do this, if you can't make your own clothes, blah, blah, you're not talented. It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's not.
I think Sarah Bareilles could sing circles around me. And
She's an
I would
amazing
never
singer.
correct her singing.
And
I do
songwriter.
think I could act circles around her based on what I saw with Waitress, and I feel like that's where I have the license to kind of critique, because
Oh, yes.
this is my degree. This is what I've been doing since I was in 5th grade. Like, I've been there, done that, have the T-shirt, and I have an IMDb. But I feel like that kind of like experience gives me the license to be able to critique that. But I know in myself that I can sing, and I've done musicals. I did a Shakespearean musical as well. But I wouldn't say that I'm like the best singer in the cast. I feel like I'm a good singer. I do my job, but my strongest suit is definitely acting.
I think that's what sets apart. People have like their own, like I think one of the most ones, I just sit on YouTube and I go down a rabbit hole, like comparing all of like the Phantoms of Phantom of the Opera based on like their choices, and the Christines, and like which one did this, like very like all the same script, same direction,
Yeah.
but they'll do something in a different way that just changes the entire like feel of the whole scene.
I feel like, yeah, I like watching the compilation of everybody's climax for She Used to Be Mine.
Well, it's the same thing. That's how I feel about Cats, because like many people have saying memory,
Right.
And even though I think people think that what's it, Betty
Buckley?
Yeah, she sings it like very well, but she sings it so effortlessly.
Yeah,
And
watching,
she's just like,
yeah.
like she's just like so like
Watching her at the Tony, she just goes,
she literally she's squatting and she belts as she gets up, and she's just so effortlessly like just singing
It's
this big
so
number.
light. She
and she's
doesn't
and
look
she
like
and
she's-
she and maybe
yeah.
because it's you're used to stage, but she's just kind of like the blank face.
It's so easy.
And she's it's kind of like it's like obviously she's got the vocals, she's got the range,
But if
like
she was lip syncing and looked like that, it would look wrong.
yeah, it looked like she's just like lip syncing a track, but then she's not like doing like. But then that's why I like Elaine Page. Like
Yeah, she does a
like,
really good
She
job.
doesn't sing it perfectly. She sings it with like she's desperate. Like
Mhm.
touch me, like literally like it's such a cliche like memed song, but I'm
Yeah.
just like she sings it in a way that's like oh like she's so desperate, like this is her last plea for
And,
anyone
yeah,
to.
I almost love when an actor kind of puts in not singing into the song, in the sense of just like
Speaking?
I'm still hearing their struggle.
Like
where-
they'll talk, sing instead,
Yeah.
instead of saying like
or like when they're just like,
in Sunset Boulevard, Glenn Close, there's a line that says, "Has there ever been so much to live for?" And then the line is like, "Has there ever been so much to live for?" But then she'll be like, "Live for," instead of just
Yeah.
like live. She's just like
well, because
like she's
sometimes
living
yeah,
for this.
sometimes you get a moment to kind of come down from your lyric, and like I know people who can sing themselves down. I'm not one of those people. I'm a belter, so all my notes are like crazy up here, and if I have to come down here, it's usually like a talk sing for me. But I love when they come down to talk sing, and it's like I'm trying to think of like waitress. When because I sang "She Used to Be Mine" for my one of my classes.
Middle school.
Yeah. I had to in university. We were in our vocal class, and one of the things we were doing was singing, and so we had to like choose a song, and that was my waitress era. And the part when she goes, "She's messy, she's kind, she's low," like at the end, a lot of people do sing that, but for me, channeling where I have to take myself mentally to do my job as the actor for that song, sometimes I don't sing the last part, in the sense of like I'm like I cried when I sang it, so because I was really tapping in, because this was shortly after my father had passed away, and so like I really like identified kind of with where Jenna was coming from, like, you know, when she's singing "What Baking Can Do," some things I never got the chance to ask her about. You know, that's how I feel about like my dad now that I'm older. And so I was bawling because I took the moment, the climax of like when she's going "mine" to really just I just screamed and I belted, because that's what I do, and I took all the rage, all the sadness, all the pain, and I just yelled, and it sounded gorgeous. That was my teacher's critique. But at the end of it, I was like crying and like shaking, and I was just like, I was trying to sing. I was like, "She is messy, but she's kind." And my professor appreciated that, because she said, "You did great with the singing, and then you brought us back to kind of where the character is at the end of that song."
That's like what Anne Hathaway did for Les Mis. The movie, say what you will, but when she did her like one take of "I Dreamed a Dream," and like because the part she's like hyperventilating, it was a little much for my taste, because I think from that line, it's when she says, "I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living," and she's like freaking out because she's like a prostitute and she's bald and she got her tooth knocked out, whatever. But like,
Sounds like a rough day.
yeah, me every Tuesday. But like, it's like, that's such a line for me. I felt like you have to hear that, like, "I had a dream my life would be so like, I thought I'd be so much different than this fucked up life," but it's her like kind of hyperventilating through it. So I'm like, if I was my first time hearing it, I'd be like, huh? But it's
go ahead. Sorry.
but hearing like someone like on stage sing it very clearly, it's like, you can pick and choose who your favorites are, and I think that's why I like musicals and like Broadway, because you can be like, well, I prefer this actress's version because it just gives me something different.
Oh, you like the multiverse?
Kinda, yeah. Like, who's your favorite? Like,
Yeah.
Harley or whatever. Like, I have a favorite. Like I like when people with Wicked, they had an issue with Defying Gravity being split up with dialogue, and I feel like for a film to build up that moment, you have to have dialogue. You can't just be like la 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 la, because it's just like you have to see. Like, I think a lot of people had an issue with the big like crescendo of her saying like "it's me," and then she jumps through the window and it's like not
She
that.
falls.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think that was crucial to her character to be like, when she's falling and seeing herself in the reflection and she's by herself again, because she always was by herself, and then she had to find out like, oh, it's just me, it's me, like that's me, and they took a scene from Broadway that's like "it's me," and it's more like it's her saying like, "it's me who has to do this."
You can't,
and that's when she was like, okay, like,
yeah,
okay, well now like I know I'm by myself now, and that's why I think for me personally, I like that approach to it, in addition to the Broadway version of her just saying like la di da.
I well, see, and the thing is, I don't want to watch the play in a movie. Give me something else. They added a few scenes that aren't in the play, and I really appreciate that. I think that
You're talking about Wicked.
Wicked, yes,
Yes.
I'm talking about Wicked. I think that the movie has things that are so fierce, and I love them because you do need certain things from a cinema POV, and I think that the play has things that you can't always achieve in cinema what you achieve in theater.
Absolutely.
I think that those two, they're so like it's the same story, it's the same concept, but they're told in two different ways. I heard the other day that they were gonna make a Wicked play adaptation, but the movie version, we don't need that. We don't need that.
There's already a play.
And that's where I say this is an oversaturation of shit. This is when you guys kill things, because what Ariana and Cynthia have done is I don't think two other people could have held up to what Adina and Kristen did when they brought it. And I feel like the way that I just feel like the two pairings told the same story so differently, but also from the same point of view in a sense. It gives like multiverse. Like this is Wicked in the movie world and this is Wicked in the play world. But I just feel like I don't need the movie turned into a play.
Well, that's what they.
I
did
don't
with-
need the same
with,
thing.
with Mean Girls. Like,
Yeah.
why? I will never like just do a sequel. If you want to make a movie, just do a sequel. Like, yes, the Broadway play is great and people love it.
Yeah.
But there's already a movie.
Yeah.
So why are you bringing the movie?
Because then you've taken away some of its magic because you've just made it a capitalism thing.
Right.
Unless it's good. Like that's why like going back to like Hairspray. Like I like Hairspray as the movie with Ricky Lake, and I like the musical movie with Nikki Blonsky. And I've never seen the actual stage production version except for like the TV one, which I'm assuming is the closest to the stage one.
And
there's
bit, yeah.
differences. There's differences. Like and that's why I'm like I like them all for different things. But like it's a good they're all good standalone.
Yeah, I don't think that 100% of I think Hairspray is an excellent example. I think that there may be the 1 in 10 where like, yeah, we can't have 2 of these movies exist and a musical.
But the mediums are like they're not. You can't force a medium, and that's I think like I
But
noticed
also,
that.
I didn't live to see Hairspray come out in theaters first. Wait like a decade for it to be a musical, and then come out as a movie musical. Like it was already an old movie when I was born. Like,
right.
It came out like a year or two after I was born. So like for me, I didn't have that because like they said there's a bigger gap of time between Mean Girls and Mean Girls the movie musical than there was from Hairspray and Hairspray the musical.
Yeah.
Like there was like there was like 20
It was like
years.
early 2000s, I think.
There was like 20 years gap between the Mean Girls movie and the Mean Girls musical movie versus like I think the
Hairspray.
Yeah, it was like less than 20 years, obviously.
I think I noticed just some people like to bring it back to drag, like that was the thing that bothered me the most during the pandemic, was people doing the same thing virtually in the virtual shows that they would do in the club, and like you couldn't see their legs because they were behind a bed, and they're dancing, and they're like doing kicks, and you're like like girl, you can literally do anything. You're on film.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
use the film medium. I don't know. It's a medium thing, and like comics did the same thing. Like you're on film, do something different.
Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, I with Wicked too. I didn't like Wicked until I saw it as a movie. Like I fully saw it live in San Francisco, and I did not care for it. But seeing it on film and me being more of like a film buff, I fully appreciated it a lot more.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we as people do kind of. It is nice to have one or the other because I prefer theater. I don't like watching movies. I don't watch movies. Like you really have to sit me down and force me to watch a movie because I also hate most movies. But I think that like that's my bread and butter. That at the end of the day will always be my like love is for the theater. That's where my heart is. You know, when I die, I have this image in my head of like when I die, there's like an empty stage that just is supposed to represent me, where the middle light just comes on. And because you've heard are you familiar with the concept of like leaving the light on in the theater?
I think so. I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah, but you always leave one light in the middle of the stage on, and there's like a whole like there's a reason that you do it, and it's part of it is always so that we can always find our way home.
Oh.
And so for me, I've always really loved that. And for me, my home is the theater, always will be. Live performance is what I always want to do. I love film, I love movies, I love TV, but there's something that I get from the production of a theater that I don't get from any other kind of art form. And I feel like drag is in its own way is like a theater performance. It's like my own little mini musical. And I feel like in my head that when I go, there's some like metaphorical theater light that clicks on, and that's just where I am for all eternity, and I'm at peace with that.
Do you prefer proscenium or black box?
I grew up in black box, so I prefer black box because I know how like we played with the concept of space so deeply. I'm an artist geek. Like when it comes to theater, I geek out. I'm queening out right now. I'm holding myself back, but I love black box because we get to be in charge of how the story is told, what perspective the story is told from. Because I did an amazing. I got an opportunity to do like an amazing play where like it was all written by the company, but it was supposed to be like the audience was watching a mock TV show being filmed. So it was told through a comedy point of view. So everybody was kind of like seated in front of us like a live studio audience, and we would all like, there would be times where like somebody from off stage would yell cut, and we'd all just snap out of it and just turn into these other characters.
When this is over, I have to tell you about one of the few plays that I've written. I think you're gonna love it. But I was gonna say something. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I don't. That's what I love about. Now that Katana's not here, we can geek out. That's what I love about, because I love film, right?
Yeah.
And I love theater.
Mhm.
But there are things I don't like about both.
Right.
I don't like that there's no, when you're doing film, there's no feedback.
Yeah.
It's just a cold, it's just a really cold camera.
Yeah.
And like, I remember the first time I ever did a film, like anything for film, like I did the take and I did it so well. And then they were like, cut. And I
Cut.
was,
Move on.
and I was like, does anyone gonna tell me good job? Like what?
Yeah.
And no one said anything. They just packed up the camera and the lights to move to a new shoot. And I was like, oh, that means I did a good job.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would still be doing it.
Otherwise, we'd say, can we try something different?
And what I hate about plays is that it's just the same thing over and I get bored with that as a performer. Like I just get bored telling the same story for 3 months, right? Like playing the same part. Like I'm the girl next door. I'm the girl next door. I'm the girl next door.
Yeah, I've had a role where I've been like, this was fun, this was cute, but I don't want to do this for weeks. But I was privileged enough back home to like have a say in what I was doing. Like I hadn't auditioned for like the last 7 years. I'd been acting professionally in my hometown, and I got to choose which stories I knew I could tell for extended periods of time. Just because I do feel like you can get really tired of just telling that story, and I really like stories of concept. Like one of my goals is to make it to Broadway, obviously, in and out of drag. I would love to play Jenna. I would love to play Dawn, Kamiko Glenn's character in Waitress. Like, those are characters that I could play for like 3 months or, God willing, a year before I finally am like, okay, I'm going to step away now.
Part of me feels like when I think about people who perform the same thing, like Drag Race Vegas or whatever, like they do the same numbers every night or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that to me doesn't sound bad. Like being on tour, like Work the World or whatever. I'm like, I would like to just do the same numbers and perfect it and be good at it and just get better and better at doing it. Like I might get tired of just hearing the same music, but I'm like, for me, in my mind's eye, I feel like, oh, like that means I can just keep getting better and better at doing the same number and just get it perfect, and then and just at least, and then until the next thing, and then I can move on to the next thing. But then at least, because whenever we perform one number that we feel really good about, I'm like, okay, that was.
I'll do it again in a year.
I spent like 2 weeks working for like a 5-minute number.
Yeah,
and
I also feel like the audience is also a big influence, and like I know that every time I do Telepatia, people are gonna sing along with me, and I love Kali Uchis. I listen to her like I wrote the music, but I feel like that's one song I know I'm never gonna get tired of, just because of what it means to the audience. And kind of the joy that it brings everybody. The joy is what keeps that song so fresh.
See, and that's why I like drag and I like stand-up comedy, because you can do it. Like that is what some people do, how people do comedy. And that is how some people do drag, where you just do the same thing over and over and perfect it. Just get that joke down to the breaths, get that number. Like, and that doesn't really count for like what you just said, because there are numbers that I will do forever. And I know people like them, and I know I like doing them. But like, I'm not saying they're perfect.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to improve. I'm like, it's good. I could try to be a little better.
It's holding up, and that's also what I love about redoing things. Is like, I haven't done this song in 7 weeks, and for the first time, I'm just thinking about this concept, and now I have a new point of view to kind of perform this round.
And that's why I prefer these mediums of performance, because they're not quite stage. We're doing different things all the time. We can go back and we can revisit.
And film, whatever take they use, it lives like that forever.
Right. And like, I don't know about you, but like I would always ask for one take of my own. Like, let me just try it this one way, just so I could get it out. And even if that wasn't the cut they used in the final, like at least I knew I got my point of view across.
Yeah, I did.
And sometimes they liked it.
I did a limited series, and the director was really open to kind of ad libs to what made the characters feel authentic because it was low budget. There was the lower the budget, the higher the stakes because I want to show you my good art. And personally, I enjoyed. We got picked up for the first 3 episodes, but it didn't go anywhere. But there was like the director had a rule: do the script the first way. If you have something that you want to do, let me know. We'll do a second take. We'll let the editors decide whether we want to keep that in.
Yes.
And I really appreciated that because I felt like we, as the actors on the set, got moments to authenticate the characters and make them real people, because that's what I find hardest about like pilots is you get your description and you know nothing about this character because it's your first time playing this character, and you don't get theater rehearsals like you do TV rehearsals. You learn your lines, you come to set, and you get a rehearsal while they're setting the cameras up on you.
Maybe.
Yeah, like that's like it takes 5 to 10 minutes for them to set those cameras up. You and your co-star should be going through the scene. There are some people who prefer not to because they want it to be authentic, which I can respect and I can understand. There have been times where it's like, usually with solo scenes that I know I'm gonna have like I had a whole weird like character arc. You find out that my character was like a shadow and lived like a long time before any of this is even happening. And so I got to kind of have like I was on the beach. We filmed on an actual beach. I was like coming from the water because my character becomes a shadow because I died. I was killed for being gay.
Okay, Peter Pan.
Yeah, literally. But like I wake up and it's like I got to kind of have like that moment to play around with what I wanted to do with the story I wanted to tell. And I didn't go into it with the rehearsal. I just went into it and just said, feel the authenticity. And I don't repeat my lines to the mirror. I don't want to see what I look like. I will see what I look like on the camera once we're done.
I lip sync in the mirror, like when I'm lip sync, because I want to make sure it looks like, because sometimes you can say a word and it doesn't look right. So I'll like.
I can't do that. I feel stupid, like lip syncing in the mirror. Like when I see Drag Race, when they do like they're lip syncing for the lip sync for your life, and they're in the mirror, they're like, I'm like, I would not be seen doing that. Like we've done some like workshops at home, like where we perform in front of each other in the dance studio, and I'm like, out of drag, and I'm like, I can't. I mean, I will, but I'm like, I hate
It feels
this.
silly.
It feels stupid. I don't like
Silly.
that. Like I have to be in character for me to feel the fantasy, or else I will not perform it that way. But I do sometimes like to lip sync. If I'm practicing, I'll like do it in the dark, or like I'll do it like I'll just look straight ahead because I can't see in drag, so I'll make sure I look straight because sometimes I'll look at the ground. But then like
Not you recreating the blind conditions.
but like
I went out into a snowstorm.
like because whenever I rehearse, I just do it in my bedroom and in the dark, and that's basically it with like a light on or whatever. But like just to anticipate what to say and do. But sometimes I'll lip sync. I'll over lip sync. It's like stretching. Like I'll over lip sync so that when I lip sync kind of half-ass, it looks more like.
Oh, that's an acting technique. Yeah, do the scene at a 12.
I feel like the only things I really rehearse in drag are when I'm trying out a new costume. I want to know how it fits because I don't want it to go wrong on stage. So I'll dance around in it and it's very. I have some videos of me like showing costumes where I'm like not in drag at all. But I feel like the fans, I do have to have a little bit of choreography with. You do have to have. You can do whatever you want if you have the understanding of how to tell the story with fans and stuff
Well,
like that.
there's physics also with the fans, like literally.
Yeah, literally. Like it's all about strength and control. Like, yes, it's very glamorous, but it's a lot of work to hold those fans, to move those fans, to get them to do what you want. But like when I perform, I don't rehearse any of that. Like even at Eve's, like the nights I decide that I'm gonna sit on the railing, I make that decision in that moment.
Same.
I don't think about like I'm gonna sit on the railing right here.
See, I like people ask me.
That's me with eating food off the floor and stuff like that.
Very, very, very kind, naive people ask me if I rehearse my dancing, and I'm like, oh, child. But like I'm like no, I think about like certain lines. I think about certain moments. I think about certain words, and I do like in the shower, and then maybe I'll look in the mirror. but I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna jump up on the railing.
No.
I don't know when I'm gonna go to somebody.
You
Like,
also don't know if there's gonna even be a spot to jump on there. 'Cause
or
what
if
it's
there's
a
gonna be
packed
a
night and everyone's
crowd
leaning over?
What if there's no? Well, I make a spot, but what if there's no crowd? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I want to take money here. What if someone won't give it to me? Like, I
I
don't
hate
know.
that when I think I'm like, oh, I'm doing a brunch. Like I need to have like a minute long instrumental for me to just collect music, and there's like 20 people there, so I'm just walking back and forth to like just instrumental. Like there's nothing.
Oh yes.
Or like sometimes when like there's not like when like, at Roscoe's when like only the bottom floor is booked. So like yeah, like oh, I need to go up the stairs and go up there and have this. And I'm like, oh, there's so there's like I'll just walk around the bar a few times until the
Yeah.
music starts. But damn, I wanted to say something, but I forgot what to say. You were talking about something. I forgot what it was.
I should say Rachel Bloom is her name. I looked it up because I felt stupid.
Like when I do my video visuals, like sometimes I guess I'll like in my mind rehearse things when I'm like, okay, when this thing happens, because I know like I think about it as like I guess from like a technical kind of way where I'm
Yeah.
like I can't have lighting cues, but I'm like this is my light cue, so I'm like on this beat it's me like 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll do this thing because I know that this will happen behind me, and I'll like watch the video with it as like because I can tell what's happening if it's an interactive performance or not. But I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'll answer. Dixon asked if me cleaning up the spill on the floor was part of the choreo. Did you see that when I did that?
No.
Oh, so I was
She posted
doing.
it everyone on Instagram.
Yeah, it's on Instagram, and like
I've been so disconnected.
I was in these boots, and there was a spill, and it was a Thursday after the crowd was like there in the middle, and then they all got up, and I'm performing the first number, and there was like this big wet spot, and so I was like, I motioned to Abel, and I was like,
I was there. I remember that actually.
Okay.
That's
I
why
was
I
like-
didn't see it on social media.
I was like,
in the
give
room.
me a
Yeah.
towel, and Abel got me a towel, and he had it in the middle of the number, which like fair, like I didn't say like get me a towel after, like I just motioned for a towel, and he gave it to me, and I was just gonna walk around with it, and then I was like, well, fuck it, like if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
So I just cleaned, yeah. But I mean, I think that's part of being a live performer, and understanding that like drag is a live, organic thing, and you can do it completely rehearsed.
Like in my bag number, it's completely like I have beats that I'm trying to hit because I'm
Mhm.
doing the physical comedy of it.
But you're riffing between.
Yeah, I'm riffing between when I'm performing, and there are other tricks that I'm working on. So the last time I did it, I put myself against the wall and I did like a little push-up, slow let down with it. But I'm working on something else to hopefully be able to achieve to have something to kind of like, oh, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna do the wall flip, or is she gonna do this new trick, or like, you know, I still want to keep them guessing, despite the fact that it is a little rehearsed.
Oh yes. There's a song that I do that everyone knows every beat, and I have figured out a way to make it slightly different, and I can't wait.
That's why I always do it different. I always do a different mix or a different version of something, or like if I know that it's widely like popular, I'll do something different with it. Like even when I did Abracadabra, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna just do Abracadabra off the track. I'm gonna have to do something different. That's why I did the hot wing thing, because I knew it was popular, but not in the way that I don't think anyone else performed her that way recently, like in that time period or whatever. So like I'm always just like a pick me kind of bitch where I'm like, let me do something different, like that's different from everyone else. So my mind always thinks about like what can I do that's different and not expected, but also like expected but not, like in a way that they wouldn't think like, oh, I didn't think she was gonna do that. Like
You have a touch of absurdism to you.
But what I was gonna say, what I forgot was that like when I do like my sword play stuff, I don't ever rehearse that, and I feel like I should. I did rehearse it when I did the go-go thing because I had to buy that ball and chain thing, so I had to practice because I haven't done that since I was like 15. But like I had done it so much since I was a kid, and I do it whenever I have like a stick in my hand. I'm like, I don't have to rehearse this, but sometimes I'm like, I wish I could, because when I'm in drag, it's a whole different.
But that's
thing.
I was gonna make that point. Like you work with the fans so much,
Yeah.
you don't need to rehearse.
Yeah.
Because you know how they work. You do a sword so much, you don't need to work with it. I've flipped my fucking fan 3,000 times. I know how to catch it. I know how to throw it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I practice it just to show off, but like I'm not like okay, like I'm gonna rehearse this.
Also, all my weapons are plastic; they're not real. So it doesn't really matter. Like
Oh, like the sword?
Oh, it
yeah,
flies
so, like
off,
if
yeah.
it flies out of the way, and like oops, like I've dropped a few swords. Like if I have a dual wield them, I've dropped a few of them and they've fallen. I'm like, oops, you know, they're not real. But like, it's just that whole cast of disbelief thing. Like I'll go out there without a sheath. I mean, my Chinese style sword has a sheath on it, so it's a little bit more like realistic. It's more shiny, but my katana is like fully plastic, just spray painted, just for looks. Because in reality, those swords are too fucking heavy. I think Jerry brought out a sword.
Jerry had a metal sword,
but it was a real one, right?
And it wasn't real, but it was a
Real metal.
It's real metal, fake replica broadsword. Yeah. We should probably end.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk more theater after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug?
Make sure that you come to Badlands to see Liz and I hosting Valentina towards the end of the month.
25th.
The 25th. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Very excited to have her here. I've been a big fan of Valentina for a very long time. But yeah, just keep up with me on social media. Come say hi. Go vote for Suzette.
Please, if you want to, just vote.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want people to vote. Like, I want more people to know about the charity.
Yeah. Vote, bitch.
Yeah. Anything for you?
Nothing really going on for me except for E's on Tuesday. We are going through a transitional period right now.
At Eve's?
Yeah, kind of. We're contemplating a rebranding. I've been kind of collaborating with all of the cast because it is like, run by us, but like my concern for the cast is, I really want to know what they feel like before I do anything. So I always ask them their opinion because it is a group collective of, things. So we shall see. But as of right now, it's not going to go anywhere. So
yeah, Eve's we're here to stay, but we are we're just changing some things up.
I said I'm joining. Oh man, I don't know. My schedule's what it is. Always. I'm gonna be out all day campaigning tomorrow, and brunch, and then I'm finally letting Badlands do an RE night. I've
I'll be
blocked
there.
it with my whole body for like 3 years. Of course you will. I would not do it without you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You.
And then I'll be there on Valentina night. Just I don't know yet in what capacity, but we'll be back here the first Sunday of May.
Friday.
That's what I meant. Thank you. I'm so fucking tired. March has been a lot, and now it's April, and
I
it's
believe
gonna
it's the second. I think it's May 2nd.
Okay. So we'll be back the first Friday.
Yeah.
In May.
Yeah, you're right. Say the second.
Yeah.
And I have STFU here at Stab, the fourth Saturday, yeah, you should watch and listen and share. And thank you guys.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
always
gonna be going live a lot more. So tune in. Come talk to me. I just want to talk.
Thanks to Stab. Thanks to Jesse for producing and running the show. And
we love you, Jesse.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, Dixon.
Alrighty, everybody on YouTube, Twitch. That is it for us. Check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're live here Thursdays or Sundays. Stream everything we do. Tomorrow, all improv, 7, 8, and 9. Come check it out. Or, watch it from home, as you are doing now. See you again soon. Have a good night.